Yeah. They said I had no shot, but I walked in with the proof, built on the shoulders of the elders and the wisdom in the books. I gave my thoughts away for years, no price tag on the light. Then they mocked me when I asked for crumbs for time I spent in flight. But I was raised by living gods, my mother and my father. I kissed the brim with reverence, felt my spirit grow much taller. From the lab to the debate hall, I came forged in flame. Every scar became a lesson, every silence held my name. Put some respect on my name. I came too far through the fire and rain. Put some respect on my name. I stood my ground when the pressure came. They can vote, they can judge, they can frame the debate, but I know what I fought for, and I know what I made. Put some respect on my name. Dr. Reggie don't break. He came back to reclaim. Round one, I felt the room shift when the truth hit clean. A 10 to 8 kind of storm, no cushion in between. Round two, I got sharper, every sentence cut precise. Devastating with the facts, I laid the blueprint twice. Then round three, I showed mercy because victory was mine. I already held the battle, had my dignity in line. So let the people be the witnesses, let the whole crowd see who the champion is. When the pressure tests belief, I stood tall in the toughest day. I did not fold or bend. Oh, I didn't come to borrow glory, I came to make it endo. Put some respect on my name. I came too far through the fire and rain. Put some respect on my name. I stood my ground when the pressure came. They can vote, they can judge, they can frame the debate, but I know what I fought for, and I know what I made. Hey, put some respect on my name. Dr. Reggie don't break. He came back to reclaim. No one gave me a shot, so I became the shot. No one held the line for me, so I became what I got. If you ask who the champ is, let the record explain. I walked through the toughest room and left with my name. Yeah. Yeah. They said I had no shot, but I walked in with the proof, built on the shoulders of the elders and the wisdom in the books. I gave my thoughts away for years, no price tag on the light. Then they mocked me when I asked for crumbs for time I spent in flight. But I was raised by living gods, my mother and my father. I kissed the brim with reverence, felt my spirit grow much taller. From the lab to the debate hall, I came forged in flame. Every scar became a lesson, every silence held my name. Put some respect on my name. I came too far through the fire and rain. Put some respect on my name. I stood my ground when the pressure came. They can vote, they can judge, they can frame the debate, but I know what I fought for, and I know what I made. Put some respect on my name. Dr. Reggie don't break. He came back to reclaim. Round one, I felt
I need you to help me on this mission. Yeah. This is for my brothers trapped in religion. Open up your eyes, break out of the prison. This is for my brothers trapped in religion. Sign at the beat of truth, you know he's on a mission. It's sad to see my brothers also lost. It's sad to see you believe in things that's false. It's sad to see you believe in Jesus, or your logic breaks apart in 1,000 pieces. I'm God killer, not gonna let that slide. You drowning in a myth, you had nowhere to hide. The HOK is the toughest environment. While we trade blind faith for mental empowerment. I believe in scriptures for your mind, this is the key. It's time to unlearn everything you believe. The house of consciousness, start looking within. That's where the real liberation for my brothers trapped in religion. Open up your eyes, break out of that prison. This is for my brother trapped in religion. Sound that to be the truth, you know he's on a mission. That HOK, it's more than just a place. It's a tough environment where you check your faith. Bomb squad and pseudo killers who check your sources. Don't come in front cause you will leave for losses. The Bible written to break your spirit, built to keep you low, feeding you metaphors, stopping your growth. These is for my brothers trapped in religion. Sign that to be the truth, you know he's on a mission. Sad to see my brothers all so lost. It's sad to see you believe in things that's false. It's sad to see you believe in Jesus while your logic breaks apart in 1,000 pieces.
Second, give me a second. Give me a second. I want to play one more song if I can find it. Neo, give me a second. On in.
Where you at? Where my people at? I need you to help me on this mission. Yeah. This is for my brothers trapped in religion. Open up your eyes, break out of the prison. This is for my brothers trapped in religion. Sign that to be the truth, you know he's on a mission. It's sad to see my brothers all so lost. It's sad to see you believe in things that's false. It's sad to see you believe in Jesus while your logic breaks apart in 1,000 pieces. Oh, God killer, not gonna let that slide. You drowning in a myth, you had nowhere to hide. The HOK is the toughest environment. While we trade blind faith for mental empowerment. I believe in scriptures for your mind, this is the key. It's time to unlearn everything you believe.
Peace to the family, peace to the family. This is your brother Reggie. I was trying to play the Neo song. I just could not find it. I hope everybody is doing well. Let me look at the comments. Let's see what's going on. I have a pretty good show today. Let's see what's going on. I love being black, as divine as a sword. Yep. It is divine. Immortal Dragon Review, one of my young top researchers. Peace to you. The show that I am going to do, Barn Dog. Where's my brother Barn Dog, man? There you go. Peace to you. Peace to you. Rich Miller. I think Rich Miller was telling me to play the Neo song, but I got to get the controls right. I don't see it up. Okay, today's show is going to make some people upset. The people that is going to make upset. Oh, there's my brother Harwin. Shout out to you, Harwin. My brother Harwin. I was, how can I say, I was doing defense today. I was telling them that your real target was the person that I debated, the hi, and that it was never Chuck Morgan. But nevertheless, we would like to hear from my brother Harwin. So the topic we're going to do today is called The Ancient Egyptians Did Not Have a Soul. They had something else. The image is two Europeans that stumbled on an African mummy, Sahu, if you like, on a bier, caress, if you like. And in back of them, and they are operating on this African. And in back of them is a bunch of YouTubers. And I didn't put them in African clothes. I should have. But there are people amongst us who act as if they are African and they respect African agency, but they are really have beliefs of Abrahamic and Western thoughts. And so the question is, the so-called ancient Egyptians, did they have a soul? Does that bother you if I tell you that they did not have a soul? Does that bother you if the African along the Nile and in Central Africa and West Africa, if they did not have a soul? Does that bother you? If it bothers you, then stay tuned on Black News, Sonetta Studios, Community of Skeptics, and the other shows that we do, Pseudo Killers. If that bothers you, right? Because if you cared about what Africans thought, and I found out that we don't, we care about European terms that supersede African terms. So from what I just said, I guess you see where I'm going. So let's pull up the next slide. My abstract, contemporary Kemetic reconstructionist and New Age Egyptian spirituality routinely equate the Ba, the Ka, the Ib with the Abrahamic or theosophical soul. That equation is not a recovery of the Nile Valley meaning. It is a translation tradition that begins in late antiquity with Harapalo's rendering of Ba as Greek Psyche, passes through Champollion Lepsius 1859 facsimile of the Papyrus Berlin 3024, Ehrman's 1896 seal edition in Budge's English popularizations, and then appears in modern Kemetic discourse. The ploy, and it is a ploy, it is to take Nile Valley concepts and equate them to a singular soul. The purpose is to have scholars and the public use Western concepts as something to equate to. Are you doing that? Does it bother you that you do not have a soul? That your ancestors told you you did not have a soul? Louis V. Zachbar, 1688, showed that the Ba is not an immaterial constituent soul, but a manifestation of power, or the person as a totality of capacities. Egyptian personhood is composite and modal. The Ka, the Ba, the Ak, the Ren, the Ib, the Sweat, the Sekhem, and body are differentiated categories. The Hebrew Nefesh and Christian psyche arise from other histories and should not be used as a default key term, as used as the default keys for those terms. Christianity preserves the Egyptian language in Coptic while employing Greek-derived, I'm not going to pronounce the Greek, but I think it's psyche for soul, attested. The Coptic Bea means night raven or screech owl, not the ordinary Christian word for human soul, as people think the Ba is. Language continuity is not conceptual identity. Reconstruction that aims at historical fidelity should leave the Nile Valley Kemet terms in place, or gloss them as modes of existence rather than fold them into a soul that they were never designed to be. Born Dog, thank you so much. So we're doing it wrong, family. They're not the African, never knew a soul, never used a soul until they're colonized. But we use those terms as if it was our own. And of course, Dr. Wade Nobles told us that power is the ability to define your reality and have other people respond to your reality as if it was their own. So we're responding to other groups of other realities and not the Nile Valley or the African reality. Because in our other cultures, we did not have a soul. If what we had, call it for what they called it and have other people work around that. But if you give up your agency to their power, then the problem is that for generations and generations, it's harder to retract back. Oh, I see my brother, my elder in the culture, Nana Sudo Kukabor. Hopefully, he'll be coming to New York in the next month or so. And I have another good brother, Preen. He's going to be coming to the museum. But my point is that if you're running around saying that there is an Egyptian soul, then what you're doing is you are slowly converting our people to Christianity and to the Abrahamic, and that they have power over you and they are laughing at you. So let's continue. I'm just trying to give you the information. The English word soul is not a neutral category. The English word soul is often treated as a universal human component recognized in the same way across ancient religions. But family, it's not. It carries Hebrew translation, history, Greek philosophy, Christian theology, liturgy, and modern popular religion. Asman, that car. Applying it automatically to Nile Valley, Kemet, African distorts those categories, distort what the African really meant to say. So we're going to have to evaluate that. Methodological claim. Hebrew and Christian soul concepts should not be the default framework for African religion. Soul may still appear as a provisional English gloss for Ba, but only if the gloss is explicit, qualified, and subordinate to African Nile Valley evidence. So it has to be subordinate. We're using it as if it was primary, right? And even in our popular culture, I don't care if James Brown was a soul brother, then that is talking about American culture, right? American culture is Christianized, it's Abrahamicized. Okay, that would be fine. But the minute that you step out and start talking about Nile Valley culture, then it has to be subordinate, right? Because we're getting into trouble. We are using English words now to trump what the African said, the African on the Nile said, and the Africans in other cultures. We're using those terms to trump what they said and not even knowing what our parent people said. People without power do that. People without power confuse that. People without power, right, or who have already converted or coming out of the Western religions or in the Western religions do that to convert you. Well, there are 9 important parts that you should know in the Nile Valley literature. There's the Kat, the Ba, the Ka, the Ib, the Ren, the Shut, the Ak, the Sahu, the Shechem, right? They can't be stacked as one soul because they are not. Actually, the Nile Valley African culture is much more dynamic, much more detailed, much more complex than putting everything into a soul. When you put everything into one thing, then you know that you are limited. So the Ka is the vital double. That's what it is. It's two, usually arms or horns raised up. It is your life force, right? It is the container for a universal Ba, the Ka. The Ba, personality. It's not a soul. Your Ba is not your soul. Eternal, often pre-existent essence that transmitigates and is the real you apart from the body. It's the real you. The it, the heart mind, is not a soul. Conscious or inner soul rather than physical moral heart weighed against mind. I'm going to have to fix that. It's your conscious, what they can call as the inner soul, right? Rather than a moral heart. It's your consciousness is in your ib. The Egyptian texts do not oppose one immortal soul to one mortal body. If you want to use that terminology and use it right, they distribute personhood across several modes. And I've mentioned them: the Ket, the Ka, the Ba, the Ib, the Ren, the Sut, the Shechem, the Ak, the Aku, whose relationships change by period status and genre. So in the ancient Egyptian, ancient Kemet literature, you can see them more pronounced in different periods for different reasons. You see a lot of it in the 18th dynasty. You see less of it in other texts because they're distributed across the text. Collapsing these modes into a soul imports dualism the sources do not support. And we have a problem now where the vocabulary of New Age, Kemetic, Christian, Neoplatonic, and Theosophical, right? Those metaphysics, esoterics, all of those things have entered into the vocabulary that we use, but it's funny that we don't know how to wield the terms of the ancient African along the Nile. And so we are doing lazy scholarship, even in the best places where we have these conversations, meaning Black News 102. So we find ourselves in these kind of conundrums and these false categorical discourse that we have. And we have some of even our own teachers not explaining the original, but using the replacement because it's easy, right? And that is problematic. So here the Ba is over the Sahu. It's the reunion with the body, not the escape from it. It's the reunion with the body, not the escape from it. So the soul is Christian, Abrahamic religions, an escape when the person dies, or the person, or life after life. The Ba, their soul, if you want to use that, escapes. That is not how the African believes it, right? It's still, it reunites with the body. Okay, so let me just see what the chat is saying. I see Harwin. What is Harwin talking about? Neoplatonism is adulterous version of butchering ancient Egyptian concepts. Neoplatonism is watered down. Thank you so much. Thank you, my brother Born Dog. Okay. Now watch. When I open up the lines, there are going to be a lot of people that are going to get real smart now. Here's the Temple of Hero. Oh, you got a lot to learn, Reggie. I love it. I am just beginning, but I never saw you do a presentation and you have a Temple of Heru. So in your temple, you have a shrine of Heru. You wash, you feed, you dress, you care for Heru. I have never heard of you. Are you one of those new age comedics that piggyback off of the work that other people teach, and then you turn around and you know more? You're welcome to come on Black News 102. Do you believe the Temple of Heru, that the Nile Valley African had a soul? Do you believe that? Are you one of those that want to use English words to supersede African words? Do you know more? In my 40 years, I probably could have met you if you were, or your temple, but I've never heard of your temple. This is the first time I'm hearing of your temple. But nevertheless, what's Babylon Dawn talking about? The Ba soul or soul is emotional you. The Ba soul is the psyche, the soul, one of the 9 states, and not dualist at all. Well, you are using again the soul for Ba. The soul is one thing. The African has multiple parts. So are you saying that the soul is just the emotional you? I didn't think the soul was the emotional you. In the Christian pantheon, when you die, your part of your soul goes to heaven, leaves everything else, and it may be reunited in Revelation, or it may be reunited in the Hebrew end of times, but that's not what the African is talking about. The Ba is something that Africans, when they set up their mortuary places, and they feed the ancestors in multiple systems, right? The Ba is there. The Ba exists, right? In their thinking, in our thinking, in our literature. When the Hennepin heard a voice in the tomb of Ahotep, that would have been the Ba, except for there was no body there. So the Ba usually stays around the body. That is an important concept because we don't forget our ancestors. Christians and Hebrews, they forget their ancestors. Their ancestors are superseded by prophets and by the written literature. They forget their great grandparents and their great great grandparents, and because their book doesn't tell you to remember them. Or what's only important is their prophets, their messiahs, right? Their story, those individuals. What's not important is your great grandma, right? What's not important, even in their book, was Sarah. who was put in the cave, right? And looks like she was never visited after she was put in the cave, right? The African has in their indigenous environment, right, has places where multiple ancestors are, and they are sacred groves. So how do we get here? Uh, 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 I'm always laughing because I see indigenous black man. Uh, First, you get everything from him, so then he disagrees. So when he disagrees, that means that's a good thing. I ain't get it from him. uh, let's go to the chronology. One of the things that we have a problem with is trying to figure out when things come into being, the time periods. So Harapalo, right? He first began this conversation when looking at Nile Valley, where the hawk or the bird is the soul, right? In Coptic, the Baal is this is his term was the soul, and the Eth is the heart. Now, Harapalo, the Meta Nature wasn't deciphered yet, so he was doing lookership. He was looking at the normal. Let's just make sure. Is my screen? My screen is not. Is my screen changing? Let me just check. Sorry. Let me share my screen again and see if it's changing. Share screen. Window. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let's just do this again. My fault. I had an overlay, so I didn't ever take off the overlay. So let's just do this. So I'm just not talking. Give me a second. Okay. So then you can follow me a little bit better. Give me a second. Okay. Let's take this off. Great. Okay. So let's just recap. I'm so sorry. I was looking at my screen. Okay. So for everything that I said, here is the text. Okay. So this was my abstract. The English word for soul is not a neutral category. What New Age Kemetic writing usually claims. The Ba is not, the Ba is the personality, not the soul. The Ka is the vital double. The Ib is heart mind, not the soul. Usually the Kemetic, New Age Kemetics only talk about the Ba, the Ka, and the Ib. Once in a while they go and talk about the Ren, but that's when they even advanced Kemetic Christians. The mapping is a category error. When you try to map it, all those parts to one thing, that is a category error, right? It sounds good on YouTube. In scholarship, it does not work. It's a category error. We do category errors all the time. I don't want to go into what my discourse on a literal, but the fact of the matter is that the African, when they wrote the inscriptions, they literally meant, or they meant what they said. Whether it was true, not fiction, nonfiction, they wrote it, they meant it. We don't need New Age Kemetics, pseudos, and others to now try to say what they meant. What they meant should be preserved because that's what they meant. Apollo. This is what I was talking about in the 5th century CE. The hawk is the soul, right? Because of Baeth pulling from Coptic and adding the eth, the heart, right? The soul in the heart. That's her Apollo. Champollion, 1823, 1841, when the language was deciphered. He created Pantheon, and his Bae is Ame. So, Lepsius, facsimile of the Papyrus Berlin 3024. He continues with this soul talk. Ehrman titles the text Gespra in his, I'm not going to pronounce that. It follows in 1896. From 1895, contemporary, Budge's Book of the Dead. This is probably what most people see, where the Ba is the soul, the Ba in is the soul with the heart, with the Ip. That's where we get this from. So now you know, and Zachbar, Assman, and Janik dismantled the convention. They do that in 1968. Why? Because they now have a number of the texts. They the work on translating the text has been done, and they began to unravel the BS. Let's go back to my comments, see what's going on. So when people say, oh, you got that from me, or I said that, I'm always looking for when people actually say that. Is indigenous again. Y'all not ready. Great. What we're not ready for? You're saying that the Ba, the Ka, the Ib, the Ren, all of those things are the soul? That's what you're saying? Or you have some higher text? Well, I'm sourcing my text, right? So what I'm doing is I'm disassociating the soul from what the Africans actually said. That's what I am doing, right? And if it was something that we knew, I wouldn't be talking about it. But obviously there is some confusion, right? That I have to dismantle. So when you're talking to an African, for example, an African that practices the Obosom, or the African that practices Ife, right? Or the African that practices Ama. Ask the African, don't tell the African, and or say what you mean is the soul. No, listen to the African and accept what the African says. But you can't do that because you already are colonized and indoctrinated. And so your mind has to make comparisons with the garbage that's in your mind instead of trying to understand what the African is directly saying. The first explicit identification of this Ba with Psyche is in Harapalo's Hierophica, composed in Egyptian Melu and translated in Greek. This is where it starts. Book 1, chapter 7, the hawk represents the soul because its Egyptian name Baez decomposes as Bae, the soul, and East, the heart being the shrine of the soul. That's where you get it from, 5th century, right? The Greek psyche, and nobody wants to deal with the Greek, especially not Christians. They don't want to deal with the Greek because they want to keep it, the Hebrews and Christians, they want to keep it in what they deal is Palestine, right? The Levant. They want to keep it, they want to keep everything there. But we all know that Rome dismantled Jerusalem block by block, destroyed everything. Uh, uh, Hebrews were ultimately imported into at earlier times uh, into Eurasia, right? By the let's say the Babylonians, and then later freed by the Persians to rebuild the temple. But many of those older Hebrews were there, okay, and supposedly survived. Uh, uh, However, when we actually look for the writing in that period, we find really nothing by the rivers of Babylon. This pretty much continues until the modern the modern period where the Torah has been how can I say commercially published, because it was the earlier period of the Septuagint. Remember, that's the Greek translation of the Hebrew that most people use, and that is usually pretty much the standard that became what people deem today through the Septuagint that the Christians actually use. The Hebrews use something else. But still, the problem is that when was that actually written and published? So what we have is fragments, and when we see the fragments like the Dead Sea Scrolls, they contain multiple languages, right? But all that has nothing to do with the African. It has nothing to do with the African. So when it comes to the soul, right, you have this guy Harapalo, who was talking about things from lookership without the Meta Neter being deciphered. Okay. So then Champollion adopted Harapalo's immediately after decipherment. In the Pantheon Egyptian, he describes the human-headed hawk as the standard image of Ames, and cites Harapalo's Bea is, I don't speak French. So you even have Champollion adopted something earlier when it comes to the soul. Give me 1 second, family. This is an important call. I have to take it. Give me 1 quick second. I am so sorry. 1 quick second. There's been an exciting day for me. I didn't tell you all, but I'll tell you now while I continue. You can say whatever you want to say about Brother Reggie. You can say whatever you want to say. But as a 61-year-old father, I can tell you that my son defended his PhD today, and my son is now Dr. Senegal Alfred Mabry. And that was my son's mother calling. my former wife, and they had notified me before, but she's just telling me that she's finishing up. So my former wife is a PhD, and now my son is a PhD, and how can I say, uh, I my household were people with STEM. My ex-wife is her PhD is in math and education, well, largely mathematical education, and my son, his PhD is in neuroscience. Uh, so I come from and I have a degree in computer science, right? So I'm so excited. It's been such an exciting day for my family, notifying my family members and stuff like that. But it's important because the fact of the matter is that the work that we do on Black News 102 and it's founded in real work, real love, real support. But let me continue. We can talk about that a little bit more. So Champollion, right? He begins to use this term uh, when the decipherment is taken, when its decipherment is done. I'm just giving you some background so that you'll know. Let's see. So uh, all the while this is happening, you do have to understand that the Christian church was heavily involved in the Nile Valley, the control of the Nile Valley, and heavily control of writers, because this once the language was deciphered and began the translation, it came directly in conflict. So what they had to do now is what they had to do is make the terms similar. Carl Richard Lepsius bought Papyrus Berlin 3024 in 1843. In 1859, he published a facsimile of the dispute between a man and his Ba. And you can get that treaty if you search for it, a man of his and his Ba. And in that treatise, the Ba looked much like the Soul. He did not issue the title German edition that locks Ba to steal. The edition is Adolf Ehrman's Graspash, etc. So I'm just giving you the, let me just take this comment out. I'm just giving you the facts if you want to look it up. The 1859 plates and 1896 title together explain why the equation is often dated to the time of Lepsius. So we have the typical picture of Nile Valley Africans of different skin hues, but on top we have what we expect to find. The Europeans, they have conquered. They have conquered the people who are on the bottom, right? Who are the parents of this civilization, right? They have conquered it. They found something new. And what we do is we focus on those people on the top of the pyramid, but we do not focus on the builders of the civilizations that followed the Nile Valley Africans. Why? Because of our mindset. Let's continue. I don't have much. I just wanted to come back on. E. Wallace Budge's 1895 Pernem Heru, they call it the Book of the Dead, the Papyrus of Anui, and later this dictionary work rendered by soul. So now in the dictionary work in the lexicon, you see, when you see the word Ba, it's soul, heart soul, right? Ka is the double or vital essence. By putting it in the dictionary, and we're not writing our own dictionaries or glosses, then we give up our sovereignty, our agency to those people. Meaning there could be nothing new found that doesn't come in contrast with the great grandfathers of colonialism. So we're going to have problems with words like Kim and Kemet, right? We are going to have problems with uh, the people that control. And we're going to have problems with our own because our own doesn't respect people who learned the language, right? So we will have problems with people who will say, "Oh, the Kada Bada Ib, the Ren, the Shek, or they're the soul." They're going to collapse it into one thing, and we're going to be arguing up and down and saying the people that read by showing example after example why you're wrong, why it means completely something different. You're dealing with some oneness of something, and we're dealing with the complexities of thought. Those additions made the equation standard in English popular literature, which New Age and Kemetic writers still largely inhabit. So that equation, the Ba, the Ka is the soul, is based on anybody that picks up a book of Anui and reads it, right? And then all of a sudden, don't try to read it in its language, attempts to read it from a Bible or a Torah or in an American classroom, right? So these type of things, this language right here is really discarded. And then you have people who actually, how can I say, Kemetic Christians that will look at the pictures and tell you what's going on, right? Instead of actually looking at the language to try to find out what is going on, right? And so the person with language, like myself, Harwin and King J, and definitely Smash Rockwell and Asar and Ka and other people, right? They will look up here and then look at the pictures later and they'll say, "Oh, shoot, Tahuti speaking. We're spoken by Tahuti, right? Who is the opener, right? Right? Of the Puat. The Puat is the kind of the cycle of the Netchers, right? Who is the the great Netchers? This is the great Netchers, right? And we will try to walk through the text to see what it says instead of looking at pictures. But New Age Kemetics, they're gonna use a few words and then they're gonna tell you what they see from the pictures. That's like Harapalo advanced, right? Here's a bar right here, by the way, right? And it will, and you can do it by pictures, but the text is important, right? And so of course this is Inpu, and Inpu is what it says over here is words spoken by Inpu, and there's a heart, and it's kind of small, but he is aware. He is aware of the heart, and then he is describing. This is aha in this case of standing, and I'll have to work and get the better translation. But the problem is, New Age Kemetics, they don't even in fact do this at all. They're like Harapalo, and whatever it says in English, they take it as English. So let me go into. I'm not going to be too long. I just want to deal with the fact to break you out of the psyche that the soul is not at all connected to Kemet. Specialist Egyptologists now treat Ba soul as a convenient but misleading convention inherited from late antiquity. Asman says this, Janik says this, Thapkar says this. The Ba, mobile manifestation or mode of being of the person, not an immaterial, immortal soul. This is what they say. The Ka, closer to vital force, personality double, offering recipient. The Ib, physical, moral heart, can testify, weighed against Ma'at. That's what the African thought, right? Does the Christian Abrahamic soul does it do this? No. You die, your soul goes and goes with the Father and the Son, right? It has no real function, except for you will hear tales when you get to the afterlife about, I guess Jacob's ladder and all those things that's supposed to happen in heaven. And but the fact of the matter is, the African had a much more complex system. Okay, so let's go on to this next section just to tell you. Okay, so now Egyptian composite personhood. So let's do some comparing. The Ka, the vital force, the double. Its core function is a function. The soul, I guess in heaven or in the afterlife, is I don't know how it's judged by God or El or Elohim or Yahweh or whatever, Jesus Christ or whatever the case. The Africans has a core function. The Ka is for offerings and continuity. It's not an inner material, immaterial self. The Ba, manifestation, mobility, post-mortem presence. That's important. The Ba of a person has a post-mortem presence. It's not in the sky, in their minds, that it is around the people that give offerings to it. That's profound. The Ren is a part. The Ren is the name of the person, the name of the nature. It has a name. It doesn't go into like this one glob called the soul, right? Which disappears into, I don't know, a glob of souls. The Ren is distinct. It identifies the Ba and the Ka. Its core function. It's named in the burial text. It's named on the tombs. It's named in the funeral world. It's named in the households. It's the Ren, your name. It's effective, not just a label. The Id, the gloss is the heart, thought and judgment. That is why the Id is weighed against Ma'at. What was your judgment? What were your thoughts? It can testify. It is a function. The Swat, the suit, sweat, the shadow. It's a component of existence. It's not personality itself, it's a component. The Shechem, power, the effective capacity. It's distinct from the Ba and the Ka. The power, the energy, the capacity of the human being. What you did, what you could have done, what you prepared yourself from, the power. Okay, the Ak. Now the Ak is interesting because it's transfigured. It achieves some type of special relationship between the fusing of the Ka and the Ba. It becomes a neter. We had these conversations on what a neter is. When the person is deceased, they become an Ak, and an Ak is a neter. All things are a neter, but the human Ak is the transfigured being. It achieved efficiency. It has a status. Then is the Khat, which is the corpse that is protected, that is funeralized, that is anointed, that is put away, right? That is who you were in life. It's part of the mortuary cult. It stays bodily on earth. Oh, the African respected that part of that human afterlife stayed on earth. It didn't go to what they call heaven. They're not that part. It's much more complex, it's interrelated, right? But you want to fuse everything into a gloss called a soul, which, if you look in the Bible or those religious texts, it's not complex at all. It's complex because it's supernatural, but it doesn't have any real function uh, except for either going to heaven or to hell. Uh, it's just not complex at all, except for its supernatural thinking. The body remains tied to the body and the flesh, and we have pictures of it. There we go. The beautiful thing about it is maybe later if there's a question, uh, the males have a male ba and the females have a female ba, right? So you will often see ba of females. Why? Because uh, early in this tradition of Africans, the African woman, she was talked about in the afterlife. In these Western faiths, it's usually almost all men, and nothing is depicted. So you have to read the words, and you have to get the spirit, and you have to imagine. The Africans didn't do that for you. The African, in fact, gave you images. They were just smarter. Zakar's analysis of the Ba. A study of the Ba concept in ancient Egyptian texts is in the Oriental, I think it's in the Oriental Institute of Chicago, SEAC, remains the standard monograph, working through pyramid texts, coffin texts, books of the dead, didactic literature, and royal inscriptions. Zabkar concluded that the Ba was never one constituent part of the human composite, the spiritual element or soul of a man, as is talked about, but represented the man himself, the totality of his physical and psychic capacities. O Kingdom Ba and Baal, plural, designate manifestations of divine or royal power. A Necher or Necher as a king is a Ba or possessor, Baal. So some person went to say that there's only 3 exceptions. Well, every king must have been an exception. So there's more than one exception of in this conversation that I had. Every king, every human being, right, is an exception. Apis as Ba of Usir or Ptah. So many of the Netchers have Bas themselves. Okay. There is a argument, and maybe if I have to, I'll look it up. But I heard some craziness from that Apep doesn't have a Ba or a Ka. I don't know where they pulled that BS from. Source it. Private Ba is rare before the late Old Kingdom, meaning that normally the kings just had it, but it was democratized in the coffin text that every deceased Ba of a human eats, drinks, copulates, and moves between tombs and world as a mode of person, not a detachable spirit. So different than the Hebrew, Christian, Abrahamic, that the Ba eats, drinks, copulates, has sex, right? Or sexual activity and moves between tombs, visits other ancestors. It's not a detachable spirit. Does that bother you? Christian Comedics, does that bother you? Pseudos, does that bother you? Christians, Hebrews, does that bother you? That the ancient Egyptian Ba, ancient Kemet Ba, the Ba of the deceased, that it eats, it drinks, defecates, copulates, and moves between tombs and world? Does that bother you? Your soul don't do that. Your soul just goes in writing just to the afterlife. Janet, soul is partly legitimate but still inaccurate and misleading because the Ba can assume physical aspects. The dispute between the man and his Ba is the man in another register, not a debate with a separate inner soul. So the this concept of inner soul is not the same as what the Ba does. Okay, Jacko and Falcon-headed figures of the Baal, multiple souls of P and Nechem. So this is Old Kingdom, right? So they are called the souls of the city. So in these early times, the cities had Ba's, and the city itself had a Ba, right? So it's and that Ba was represented usually by the chief or the king, and that is so the city was living. The city is an entity in early dynastic periods. The Ka Erman preferred Lesman craft, Frankfurt's vital force fed by offerings. So you have differences in scholars, and also you had things that other scholars, concepts that other scholars preferred, right? And so the Ka is preferred by Ehrman as a vital force. Double protective genius, social personality, recipient of the call. Death can be going to one's Ka. The Ib, organ of thought, memory, and moral character. And you can look at the Pernamet rules. This particular spell, 30b, addresses the heart. As a potential witness, it is weighed against Ma'at. It can be removed, replaced by an amulet, or testify against its owner. Your Ib can testify against you. The difference between pseudo-Kemetics or Kemetic Christians and stuff like that. Once a person, first of all, every time you see a Purdom Herud, that means that person, this is the story of that person becoming a special nature. So the exception of human natures, there's 3 exceptions, is BS. Simply BS, made up, pulled from somebody's drawers. Every human, every insect, every living thing is a nature. Then when you're deceased, you become a special nature, right? And in the Purdom Herud that you see right here, that of Anui, once this takes place, then that person, that Pa and the Ka is combined, and it becomes a effective. It becomes much more powerful. So the people that you think are your so-called Kemet teachers, that some of you idolize and praise and go to their, not all of them, some of them are very, very good. Infadishi is very good. We heard from Sanjeti from the Shrine of Anu. They are very good because they have living meta nature involved in their practice. The other ones, some of the other ones are just Kemetic Christians. They make you feel good. You might play some drums and you might chant and say some words, carry an idol, but they don't do the work. Uh, Hebrew Nepesh is not an Egyptian template. Nepesh, that's in Hebrew, that's what Adam received, is frequently translated soul, but commonly refers to a living being, life, person, self, appetite, or throat. In Genesis 2:7, the human becomes a living Nepesh through formation from dust and divine breath. Captain Tazariak and was challenging some of his Hebrew Israelites on these concepts the other night. That's We watched it. It was more internal. Do we care about it? Only to learn what the differences are between the groups, right? But that's not our culture. But they believe that we are all Hebrews and Israelites. They believe that, but the evidence does not show that. Their story says that, but the evidence does not show that. But the fact of the matter is that at the point that we begin to do that and entertain that, we have already left Africa. It says the text does not simply describe a body receiving a detachable soul. The same field can apply to animals. Okay. The biblical frame, Nepesh, Ruah, Neshama, and heart language inside created life, covenant, death, and resurrection hope. The Nile Valley African frame, the Kadaba, the Ren, the Sweat, the Shechem, the Ak, and body inside a mortuary and ritual systems. The frameworks may be compared. Neither is a translation key for the other. Comparison is not identity. So I want you to at least, when this comes up again, comparison is not an identity. Those are different concepts in different cultures. Uh, don't use another culture for an African culture. You don't have to do that. Let me just take a look at what some of the comments are. Okay. And let's see. Okay. Okay, so what's Shesmos talking about? We can give divine breath and bring life back to living. Is that created life? I don't know. We'll talk about it. Okay, ain't Nepesh Kemetic? Kapesh is a sword. Nepesh, no, sorry, Nepesh. Uh, or why would you say it's Kemetic? It's Hebrew. Okay. Uh, PHF Reggie. This is been eaten. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means at all. Okay, what's going on? Uh, when will this Kemetic War be over? We are sick and whining over. Well, I'm teaching a whole subject. Um, the Kemetic War is already over. There was never a war with that guy. You thought it was a war. It's not a war. You have people from the practicing practitioners coming up. You see what's happening? And they're fixing things. They're clarifying things. You didn't see what Sanjay Ankara did yesterday? There was never a war. What it was is just someone's opinion versus people who read the text. That's what I've been trying to tell you. You don't know any of these people. I do. You use one person as the de facto that this person is the high. And I was just trying to tell you that that's not the case. You made it a war. I was just clarifying. Okay. So what's this guy saying? Again, a nice trick, Reggie. You need to supply text, not outside sources. First, I'm giving a contextualization. I am trying to let our audience know that the soul is for Abrahamic and should not be compared to the African. And you want to act like you're special when I could pull up the text, right? So sources is not a problem. What I'm trying to do is break free some African minds. You're in the chatty patty acting as if you are some type of specialist. And please, when Black News 102 Sarnetta does a show, please teach. You might be right. But I can quickly show the text. I have the tools. I can show it in the Meta Netia. So what you're doing is just crying. Okay, Coptic is the final stage of the Nile Valley, Oran Kemet, right? Medu Neter. But Coptic Christianity is not Pharaonic, right? So there's the Coptic, the language, and then there's Coptic Christianity. And then in Coptic Christianity, then you see the word psyche, life, mind, person, postmortem, soul. That's what they learned from being in that land. And then they are transporting that, because I've taught you before that the Bible was written in Coptic, was an ancient Egyptian language with Greek terms. Didn't I teach you all that? The Bible till about the 5th, 6th century was written in Coptic. It was written in a African language. It wasn't written in I'm talking about the New Testament. It wasn't written in Greek directly. It was using Greek concepts and still in African language. The Bible is written in the African language, right? So you're going to see some syncretism. The Coptic Bai descends from Ba, but is listed as a night raven or screech owl. So the Christians take the Nile Valley concepts out and convert it to a night raven, a picture. I think it's here over here, right? For their purposes. Why? Because they begin to win the war. The Coptics, Christians, are fighting in Alexandria against the Hebrews and against the Ptolemies, who believe in Serapius, who at this particular point control the indigenous religion. And then there are lots of the Nahesh groups of people who, like King Silko, that convert to Coptic Christianity, right? Old Coptic is not a uniform theology. Read manuscripts by manuscripts. Read manuscripts by manuscripts. Coptic magical papyri. So, okay. So where else am I? Okay. So I think I'm getting ready to end on this. 3 terms that must not be collapsed: the Egyptian Ba, the source Nile Valley, attested range, manifested identity, postmortem presence, the result, closest partial analog to soul, but it's not a Christian soul. The Bai, right, is in Coptic, Egyptian, Demotic descent. So the Coptic, this comes to Coptic from Demotic, night raven, screech owl, inherited word, not the ordinary Coptic Christian term for human soul. The Greek, psyche, life, mind, person, postmortem, soul, what they could understand. Principal Coptic soul vocabulary. Language continuity is not conceptual identity. Where New Age Kemetic discourse diverges, 9 parts of one immortal soul, Egyptologists treat shifting modes and statuses. Ba as eternal, pre-existent, immaterial, theosophical overlay, right? You have Raul Neffer's Metal Nature. It's a modern Kemetic tree of life, not a reading of the pyramidal coffin text. The Ba is the real you against the body. Funerary religion reunites Ba and corpse, feeds the Ka and makes an Ak, Asman. Hebrew Christian anthropology as the coding key, reverse the order, Egyptian term, grammar, genre, and ritual first. Uh, so if you're looking at the Hebrew and the Christian terms, right, first they become primary, and then they make changes, and you have to be able to catch the changes about what they are doing with their religion versus the African religion. Methodological recommendations begin with the Egyptian term, the Ba, the Ka, the Ak, the Ren, the Ib, the Shechem, the Sweat, right? Begin with those. Talk about those. Don't use the word soul. Identify grammar and genre. Offering formula, funerary spell, autobiography, royal, temple, magical, literary. Translate provisionally. If soul is used for Ba, keep the transliteration, and mark the gloss as partial. Make it subordinate. Make the soul subordinate, not primary. Avoid one-to-one equations with Nepesh, psyche, Christian soul, or modern self unless overlapping differences are both shown. Separate historical claims from modern metaphysics. Treat Coptic as a distinct historical setting and time period. Continuity of language is not continuity of doctrine. It's not the same, was not meant to be the same. Conclusion. Calling Kaaba Ib the Soul is a translation tradition that runs from Harpalo through Champollion, Lepsius's 1859 facsimile, Ehrman's 1896 seal edition, and budgets into popular and Kemetic spirituality. That's the point. Zakar in 1968 and Asman in 2005 and Janik, what they do is in the field of Egyptology, they attack that wrong assertion and then they redefine it with Nile Valley text. The Ba is a manifestation of power or the person as a totality of capacities, not an Abrahamic soul. Hebrew Nepesh is not a uniform, detachable, immortal essence. Coptic uses Greek-derived psyche for soul. Attested Be'ah is a night raven or screech owl. Okay, so you don't have to ban the comparisons, but you should make, if you're studying Nile Valley and talking about Nile Valley, the Ramesh, the Shmai Tawi, the Kemetiu, the Kemet, the people of Tameri. If you want to talk about that, please talk about that as the main topic and use those other things and mark it as subordinate. Don't make Nile Valley terms so much in your comparison to lessen what they are, because then you're on your way to making Kemetic Christians. You know, the ones that walk around looking like Christians, but they have some Kemetic attire, right? That's not what we are trying to do. We're not trying to walk around looking like anything Nile Valley. We're not trying to do that. What we're trying to do is learn, feed our mind. We're not trying to dress up in costumes and stuff like that, unless it's a living culture and it's not a costume, right? So we're not trying to walk like an Egyptian. We're not trying to do any of that. We're trying to be thinking human beings on some term of expertise of our culture. There you go. All righty. So now I'm going to stop. I think I made my point. I have a lot of little presentations like this. Um, um, that I will be doing for the channel for learning, because I now see that we have to relearn some stuff. So I'm going to put the share link in. Okay, let me put the share link. Sorry, it's being blocked by a window. And some people here have some expertise. Uh, they have some expertise, so I want to hear their expertise. Dr. Wedgie, they don't give me a break. I mean, the hate for Brother Reggie is real, bro. This is real. So let me just stop this, stop sharing the screen, put the link in. And listen, I have some really good friends that know the Metal Netcher, but they are in that I listen, I have some, let me say it this way. There are some really, really bright young people that I really admire. But there is a dispute with the channel. And in order for me to stay on this channel and teach, I have to abide by their rules. So if I don't let you up, it's not personal to Brother Reggie. It's simply I'm on Black News 102 Sarnetta Studios. And some of you, I think that you are really, really bright. It's just that the for Sarnetta, business is business, and anything that hurts his business, he's not gonna let anybody hurt his business because it's his business. And I have been on the channel for a while, and I know what the rules are. It's not personal. I still think that many of you are really bright. I like your ideas. It's just that, how can I say, and so don't take it a bad way that I don't respect you. It's just that this dispute has gotten nasty, and I've seen disputes like this happen, and then in a while everybody comes back together. But right now, I got the corporate message, and if I want to do shows, that I have to apply by that. So I see James Mullen. Oh, King Simon, my brother King Simon, how you doing? Hey, brother King Simon, everything is well. My son just defended his PhD, and so there is a real live Dr. Mabry. It's not brother Reggie Mabry, but it is my son. He is a PhD now. And so I've been able to do things that other people haven't been able to do. I talk the talk, walk the walk, right? People can say whatever they want to say, but Brother Reggie's son is a PhD. So, King J, my good brother, and you know I respect you and I love you. I, how can I say, on Black News 102, Sarnetta let me know about some dispute, and I'm gonna check and clarify with him about what he feels about you. And my other good brother, who I respect, I love his ideas. It's just that I'm on Sarnetta's channel, so I'm going to check with him. But King J, do know that you're one of the people that I always thought on the Metal Netcher, on your ideas, I always respected. But I'm on the corporate channel, right? And so until I get some clarification, it's his channel, and I could be gone tomorrow. So I hope you understand, right? But King J, Brother Reggie needs your work, right? So we will work this out, right? It's just that I, 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 I listen. I've been in disputes, right? And so there's ways to kind of fix disputes. And I'm not going to talk about what happened or any of that stuff. What I am going to say is, yo, King J, I value your work, and I'm Brother Reggie, and I am no pseudo. And you, to me, is one of those people, Harwin, that will take over when I decide not to do this anymore, right? No matter what. James Mullen, what do you have to say, my good brother?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you a question for clarification, and then I'll let you address the question. I don't really have a debate until I can do my own research and get my facts straight. But my question to you is, in terms of Eastern culture and Western culture, from my understanding and all my years of research and history and in theologic uh, discussions, the Eastern cultures always believed in an afterlife. So even if we're talking about Africans from Canaanite, from Ham, Cush, or what have you, they believed in the ancestors. And even this day, with animism and the mask, they believe that the mask contains the souls or the afterlife of their ancestors, and they pray to their ancestors and honor their ancestors, not as those that are dead, but those that are still alive. Likewise, the Egyptians, I want to ask you this: the Ak, or however you pronounce that, the AHK, I thought that was for afterlife, and the Ren was the name to be remembered in the afterlife. So the only nation of people that I never discovered to have a belief in the afterlife were the Greeks, because they're Stoics and they believe in philosophy. They believe in Hades or hell, where the body goes to lay in the grave. But I've never heard of a Greek afterlife. But in terms of all the Eastern religions, from Moab, from the Canaanites, from the Egyptians, from any division in Africa, everybody of color always believed in a soul having an afterlife. And that's why we say we don't want to sell our soul to the devil. But if the soul no longer exists and the afterlife is no longer an issue, then there's no problem with us selling our souls to the devil or living evil. So I want to know, what are you teaching? Did the Egyptians believe in an afterlife or not? That's what I want to know for clarification.
Okay, simple. The Egyptians believed in a life after life, and that's well. Uh, it could be in the Duat, the Amduat. It could be, how can I say, even in the early stages, they would go to their place. So if you were as a farmer, you would be a farmer, whatever you would be. So yes, uh, so the Nile Valley Africans certainly believed, and not only that, they believed that the Ba, uh, you could feed the Ba of your ancestors, so that person never really leaves the earth. So on the Eastern cultures, you equate some of those groups as being black people, but um, that but what they do in that culture is separate. So you have Gilgamesh, and you have Astarte or Anas going into the underworld, right? And coming out of the underworld. That's their story. Outside of those groups of people, those were much more, and some of that was the basis of the Bible. But my good brother Mullins, is just that I don't study that. I only study that for simple comparisons. That's not my culture. The African culture of what the African believed is my culture. So I don't have to go, and I don't go to the Near East. I only do it for comparison. So I really don't. And then if it's only the Akkadians, Babylonians, and the Persians, and those groups of people, well, much of that the Greeks did not take. The Greeks primarily took concepts from the Nile Valley Africans, and until they met them, uh, their concepts were just kind of simple stories and metaphors, and those stories didn't survive. Uh, so I hope that helps. Or
Well, yeah, that helps a lot. It helps me get a more in-depth understanding of what you understand and what you learn and what you believe and what you're teaching. But that raises just one more other question I have, because you mentioned something at the end of that. You said the Greeks, they copied their culture and their understanding from the West Nile civilizations.
The largely the Greeks came into other cultures to understand and study.
Right.
They largely at some point began to leave their culture, right?
Hmm.
Uh, Ultimately, it becomes the basis of it transforms into Christianity, right? They had cult systems like the cult of Isis and things like that, which spread rapidly through the and it allowed them to begin to converse with other cultures. Uh,
Right. So I was going to ask you about that. The Library of Alexandria, located in Egypt, that was developed because the Egyptians had a bond. I mean, the Greeks had an affinity and a bond with Greek culture and Greek beliefs. Is that correct?
well, prior to that, the scribes they had a system called the Praac, right?
Hmm.
When the Greeks were in the late period were able to be mercenaries and had a colony called Necrotis. Then in that colony, working with these, um, they were able to now in that colony communicate with the what you call the Near East and the Far East, right?
Right.
Because it was a shipping, it was a kind of a colony that was on on around the Delta, and so with that they began to impart foreign cultures into the Nile Valley, and then they began to rename the Nile Valley itself. So the Nile is a Greek word, right? All these words that we think that are ancient Egyptian, they're not. The Nile is uh, Cassis Patterson, all the Memphis, right? All of
Hmm.
these, Luxor, all of these things, these are Greek terms. So what they do is that they're in partial control, and now they start to rename, remap uh, uh, Kemet or Smaitawi or Tameri for their
Okay, and that was
purposes.
going to be my next question. What about the word Kemet? I learned that Kemet means fertile soil or the black soil that's in Egypt. Did the Greeks give that name, or did that name exist before the Greeks came in? Kemet.
Oh, the word Kemet. The first time we see Kemet is well in large print that we can see is in the pyramid text, and Kemet deals with is a vessel of black jars, right? It's
Okay.
kind of a king's it's a king's vessel, right? For dominion. So we see Kemet there. We see Kemet in a place that was actually earlier called Ir Kemet from Seneferu. So that's when we actually see the word Kemet. Kemet has nothing to do with the river. Kemet has that is just popular hocus pocus. The text, the coffin text, and the later text says that Kemet is a realm within the eye of Osiris and or Horus, and it's a realm in the eye, and it has nothing to do with river, soil, nothing. It's a special realm. Uh, it's like the double on Earth as it is uh, 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 in connection with the more important netters.
Okay, I think I got what you're saying. So you're saying Kemet is not really a physical location that was first identified and marked out by mankind, but rather it's a concept of a realm that exists
Correct.
from the gods of Egypt, Osiris and Horus. So it's like they had determined a spiritual realm,
Hmm.
so to speak, and they named it Kemet. And that's interesting that you're saying this, because the all-seeing eye of Horus
Hmm.
and Osiris, this goes into the all-seeing eye of Providence, which the Greeks later also adopted. So we're seeing the connection now between the East and the Western cultures, and how they're stealing everything from the East, even though they're even from the East. We're all from the East. That's the cradle of civilization. Then we go out westward and we expand later on across the globe. But if this now I'm gonna bring in the Bible because I'm a Bible scholar. So when we bring in the Bible into this, what y'all call the Romans and the Greeks, we identified as Idumea or the Edomites. They have never, out of all the nations on earth, they were the only ones who never subscribed or ascribed in the belief of a god or a deity. When they did so in their mythology, they identified it as mythology, not as something that they thought was real, but something that they can attach to their philosophies. So they don't believe in an afterlife. They never did. And this is the caveat. This is what I'm trying to tell everybody listening, and even you, my brother. If you believe that we evolved from animals, did the Egyptians believe that the animals had souls, like monkeys and apes or Carterinians or these new things that I'm hearing? Because only Esau believed that man came from animals. And this is found in the book of Corinthians. And Paul said, there's no flesh of fish and birds and beasts that are the same as men. We're all different flesh. The reason why Paul said that, because the Greeks were pushing that in their philosophy, that we evolved from primitive life forms, including fish. So what I'm saying is, how do we know how to decipher and discern what's coming from Esau, the so-called white man, and what comes from our forefathers and our ancestors, not only as Israelites, but all people of color? Because we can get into the Sumerians, the Akkadians, we can get into anybody in Mesopotamia, all the nationalities, Canaanites, Egyptians. We do not think like the Edomites. And so if we start to bring in their thinking, now we're ready to merge with transhumanism or with computers and accept that as the next step in our evolution. And this is what they're going to push. And I want to warn everybody against that. We have to keep our own souls and identity separate from the white man, because he is not wrapped too tight. He wants to live with R2D2 and be R2D2, an android. What do you call that? Cyborg. This is not our this is not our spirit. This is not our soul as people who believe in gods. I'll let you have the floor now, brother.
Okay. Well, my whole thing is we got to keep ourselves away from the Abrahamic faiths. And so I know you wasn't ready for that. But because they are the first of all, Paul preached to the Gentiles. He never preached to the so-called Hebrews. So he preached to the Gentiles. So that's a problem.
Yeah, that's a different discussion we could have different, because we know the Gentiles to be the Israelites. But that's a different. I don't want to get everybody off that ramp. Let's just stay on top.
The Gentiles did not follow. They did not speak the language. They didn't follow the rites and rituals. As a matter of fact, Paul gave them, and I have a son Carl on, and I have Patterson, who's Coptic, right? They didn't believe in they didn't believe in the old way. So
they didn't grow up under. They didn't know nothing about the old covenant. They know nothing about their identity. They grew up as Grecians or Hellenists.
Sure.
So they grew up as Greeks.
Yeah, and they were Greek. It's not that they were those people. They were those people. They didn't grow up as them. They were those people, and so it's different philosophies coming into being. But I'm not trying to merge what I research as far as Nile Valley and African with anything Abrahamic. I'm not doing that. That's the whole purpose of this. If those are the things that you believe in, I'm not here to change your faith. I'm talking to people who want to know a proper way of methodology of either comparison or separating. Leave what's happening in Nile Valley. Don't make Christianity Nile Valley. Don't make Nile Valley Christianity. I think that when you do that, then it gets muddled. I'm saying that you can your belief is your belief, but research says research gives you other clues about how you could distinguish things. But then if you want to turn it into belief, that's a whole nother story.
Well, yeah. I want to ask you, what is your belief for you, your children, everybody you love, your forefathers, your grandparents, because you brought the grandparents? Do you believe they die, or do you believe that there's life after death?
Well, I'm because of uh the miracle I could say of life. I am the result of my mother and my father, and they're the result of my grandparents, and they're the results of my great grandparents. My ancestors never died because part of them,
Is
uh,
in you.
right. And
It
so,
carries on through you. So yeah, I heard this before. I just heard this, matter of fact, 2 days ago. So I understand this philosophy. I just heard it. But what I'm saying is for us Abrahamics, we believe in the 24 elders. They still live. Even King David, he's still alive in another form with the Most High. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they don't
mhm.
die. God is not the God of the dead, but the God of the living. And I don't want to die. I love life. I love the gift of life. So even though I get old, you see the petals of my flowers starting to fither, what do you call it? Fade away, wither
You
away.
just don't want to cut it off. You wanted to make it shine. So go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I used to remember when it was black and wavy and shiny and all the women loved it. Look at me now. I'm a flower that's decaying. I'm withering away and I'm dying, but I don't want to
No,
die, man.
you're wiser. That's just life. So
Okay. But man, I want you to believe in hope. I mean, there's got to be something more than this, brother. Even if we don't know it for a fact, we got to
sure.
have hope that the gift of life continues. I
Yeah, we do.
mean,
We just think differently about it.
okay.
So, like Asar and Ka, he's a practitioner. I'm not a practitioner. A I'm a researcher. So I'm a pretty good researcher on the Nile Valley. My belief is simple: my mother and my father. That's that's who their Ba is in my thinking, who their essence is, part of me, outside of me, and inside of me. But I'm not a practitioner. But the Abrahamic faith has given the African nothing but slavery,
Well,
right?
no, that's not true because you're looking at modern history and you're trying to take it back. If you go back, we all rubbed elbows. You know, Moses came through as an Egyptian. He was raised up in the science of
I don't
Egypt.
believe that.
And
But I don't
so
believe that.
you don't believe that ever happened with Moses in
No,
Egypt?
who? Okay, Moses. Who is Moses's God?
When Moses didn't know that he was a Hebrew, he followed the God of the Egyptians. He grew up in all the ways of
Okay,
Egypt.
but who was his God?
After he learned his identity, the Most
Yeah,
High, the Holy
the
One of
Most High. The
Israel.
Most High is a. What's the name of his God?
We weren't allowed to give him a name. We were given Yahweh or Yahweh.
Okay, fine. Yahweh, Yahweh, El, all of that. Uh, there's no archaeology that says that that was ever in Egyptian culture, Nile Valley culture. No, they never worshiped that God there. They worship Baal, right?
Right,
They,
but they still worship gods, and that's why they said, "My God is greater than your God, Moses." And Moses said, "My God is greater than your God." They still believed in gods. They didn't believe they came from monkeys, and they believed that gods
no,
were
no, but we're not getting to the point that I'm saying.
okay.
El
Go ahead.
and Yahweh was never practiced widely in Nile Valley. So the story of Moses, it sounds really great, but there's no evidence of El and Yahweh being practiced by large groups of people in the Nile Valley.
So now you're saying there's no evidence that the land named Israel never existed, though it's named Israel after Jacob, a patriarch of the Bible. It has his name. It's been there for millennium.
Yeah, but
Even
that's not in Africa. Where does Soren go?
it's
That's
right
not in
beside
Africa.
Egypt. It's right. It's coming right. It's where Canaan used to be, the land of Canaan.
Yeah, it was conquered. It was foreign. It was Amu and Rechnu, and it was outside of Africa.
But yeah, Moses led us there. So how can you say Moses never existed, or
Moses
we were
took you
never here?
to Moses took you across the Red Sea, the river Aqaba, in the Midianite territory. He didn't take you to the Levant.
I know, but the point I'm making
Okay,
is Moses
but I
existed,
just
and
correct.
they shared
I
one
just
another's
said.
cultures. They talked to one another.
But Moses, what I'm just trying to say, Moses never believed in El or Yahweh.
He didn't.
No, a strong car help me out.
In the beginning, he didn't, but when he learned the Hebrew, he did, brother.
El and Yahweh did not exist in Africa.
No, Moses brought Yahweh the name. The name Yahweh came to us by Moses. Remember?
Yeah, it was in Midianite. Go ahead, a strong car help me out.
Yad in Sidon, Iran, and other parts of Assyria and Arabia. They're noted as Shasu when they come over as foreigners. So when they come over, we know where they come from, and then we can see they don't start in Israel because Yah is the Syrian God, and it appears that there's worshippers in Syria and there's worshippers in Arabia. So they eventually converge on Israel. Yah starts to worship around the Second Temple period. And so he's worshipped by some, but not the head deity. And so he doesn't get head deity proclamation until after. And so, so he doesn't get head proclamation until after the Second Temple period. That's when he makes a big a splash on Israel. Until then, it's none of that.
Oh, it's
So
none of that.
he's not in the older text. And L early connected to it appears one of the older, if not the oldest, the El Mistra.
I saw. Can you back? I saw your connection is horrible. So let's just try. I can understand what you're saying, but it's garbled. But
could you repeat what he said, brother?
Yeah, he's
Here,
basically.
Can you guys hear me better now?
No, you got to come back out and come back in because whatever cellular connection that the tower is not good. Okay, so I'm gonna remove you. Come back in. All right. So basically, Yahweh's story starts in the Midianite territory. We know them as the Shashu of Yahweh. Those groups. Those groups of people work their way up north from Transjordan, and we know this by the Moabite stone. They are fighting groups of people that they're fighting the Moabites group. That group continues to push northward and then goes across the river, and then they find themselves in Israel. The Canaanite god El, Baal, and all of that. Those are Ugaritic concepts. Those
those are not names. Those are titles that means Lord. El and Baal means Lord, and that is in the Canaanite tongue. Just like we say Yahweh, that was given later, not to Abraham, not to Isaac, not to Jacob, but that was given to Moses. So before Moses getting to Egypt, you got to remember Joseph was in Egypt first, and Joseph believed in the one true God, but he didn't call him Yahweh. Joseph didn't have a name.
I know your story. You're talking about it as if it's true.
How do you know it's not true? That's what I want to know from you.
Oh, it doesn't. Yeah. When did what date did the Exodus take place?
Well, according to what I learned in history and archaeology, around the 1500s BC.
Okay, so in the 1500 BC.
Right. So you're specialized in Egypt. So during the 1500 BC, that's called the what kind of kingdom? Was that the Middle Kingdom in Egypt or the?
Well, I'm trying to figure out what group of people are you saying? The Hekakasu, or you saying, are you the Hyksos? Or are you trying to say there?
Well, the Hyksos were in Egypt a little bit before us, and that's why Ramses was angry, and he said, "Let's put the Israelites in bondage, for they'll join with the Hyksos or our enemies around us and overtake us." So the Hyksos was there a little bit first. They gave the Egyptians trouble. Joseph came in as a governor to save everybody from the famine. And then Israelites started to reproduce in large numbers. And that's when Ramses said, we're going to make them build Pithom and Ramses for us to keep them in bondage and to keep them from reproducing. Let's make them work.
That's your story. There's no that the problem is.
But you don't have the evidence to discredit it. That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
brother.
I do.
How is it possible? How do you have something the whole world don't have? Let me know.
No, it's not something the whole world doesn't have. They have it. You just don't want to listen.
So you saying you have absolute proof that Joseph never lived?
I have absolute proof that El was not worshipped in Egypt.
No, I know he wasn't. They didn't call him El in Egypt. They had their own names. Everybody had their own different
What was the
languages.
name?
The
They're
Egyptians had the
writing at
names of
this
many
time. People
gods.
are writing. The Egyptians are writing. Even the Canaanites got scribble scrabble. What is the name?
Okay, so outside of semantics, if the Egyptians worship Osiris and they worship Ra, Amun Ra, are they not calling Osiris and Horus and Amun Ra Lord or masters? Yes or no?
They're calling them by their direct name,
But
Netter.
what
But
would be their title?
I'm not into religion. I don't practice it, but I respect it. But what I'm saying is that there is no large group of people worshiping El in the Nile Valley. That's the
Okay, help
only
me out.
group.
Listen to my question. Maybe you can help me because I need you to help me here. You understand the Egyptian culture like the back of your hand. At least that's what I've been gathering from you. I've been listening to you since 2012. So I want to know, do you know what the original language that the Egyptians spoke at that time, what it was called? Because even the name Moses is an Egyptian tongue. It means to draw out from the water. So what was the name of their language? And within their language, since we're dealing with semantics, what did they use for the word Lord or master? Like someone that gives commandments and I say, yes, Lord, or yes, my master. That's what El mean. That's what Baal mean. And then later the Most High said, Moses, I am. I don't have a name. Just tell them I am sent
Okay,
you.
so
And I
I'm
am is
gonna.
Yah. I am is Yahweh or YHWH in the Hebrew. He didn't even
Okay.
give us vowels because it's the tetragrammaton.
Uh,
So what I'm saying is, what did the Egyptians say for the word Lord or master?
oh, they
When they
said
talk
Neb. They said they had
Yeah,
several words. Neb. Neb is the major word that they would say for they would say MER, right? For
Mhm.
and
that's like
they would say Neb. But I'll let Assad talk, right? Because
Okay. But so you said MER is the word for Lord or master.
so
MER is
Lord is Neb. So when you say Lord, you say Neb. You say Master,
NAB?
you say Neb.
Is that NAB?
N-E-B.
yeah.
NEB. Okay.
N-E-B.
Okay, got you. I'm
Yeah.
learning. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Neb is what you would call, like for instance, when we call what you call the Most High, what we call the Lord to the uttermost limits. We call him Lord to the utter limits, right?
Never touch.
To
Never
the
touch.
extent. Never touch if we take our brother Pitzasa Karasar's statement for it. So Neb Er Chair is the Lord to the uttermost limit. When we look at the pantheon of deities, though, it's different. So when you guys have El starts as the mighty, and we see him in a lot of bull epithets. So when I pulled up Mishael 36, I believe it is, you see him on that jar as a bull, and a young lady bull is loving him at that time because he was considered to be a bull god, considered to be a war god, also a thunder god. So these are epithets he has not in contrast, but in connection with Baal, who he appears to assert. When we look at the old text, we can find him in the Akkadian text because he's a Syrian god, but we can't find him in Ugaritic text because he's not from Canaan and he's not from Israel initially. So the Canaanites have Israel initially. From the Ammonites and the other Canaanites that are there, Hebrew is the last of the linguistic languages that are Canaanite. So when that Hebrew starts to come around and that Akkadian starts to connect with it due to war in some cases, sometimes just in connection with, this is when we start to see Yah and Yah start to assert other gods. And if you do the history on it, you'll note when they go to war with a certain people, because that particular god will become a relative of Yah. So to become, the cousin of Yah, such and such, the little brother of Yah, so and so. And that's how they did things.
Right. So what I'm trying to share with y'all is y'all do know that Yahweh or Yahweh is not a name. He never gave us a name. The angels, when Samson's parents, Manoah, said, "What is your name?" The angels of the Lord. He said, "It's forbidden for me to tell you my name, and it's forbidden for you to ask me of my name." When Jacob wrestled with the angel of the Lord in the flesh, he said, "What is your name?" Because the angel shrunk one of his thighs, so he knew he wasn't wrestling with a man at that point, and he wouldn't let him go. He said, "I'm not going to let you go until you bless me. What is your name?" And the angel of the Lord said, "Why do you ask me my name?" So Jacob said, "Well, I saw God face to face and he let me live. I'll just name the place Peniel, meaning I wrestled with God and he let me live." We're not allowed to ask him his name. He never gave us a name. So when Moses said, the children of Israel are going to say, "What is your name?" Because we're used to identifying gods by name because we came out of Egypt. So all gods had names to us. And the Most High told Moses, "Tell the children, I am that I am." And in Hebrew, that's
outside of the
YHWH.
Bible,
Hold on, let him
outside
finish.
of the Bible, right? And I have Harwin in here. Outside of the Bible, none of the stuff that you say can be proven. You want us to believe what
But
the Bible says.
Brother Reggie, how can you say outside of the Bible? It's one of the
Let him
oldest
go
texts,
into
not
the
the
Bible.
oldest. It's one of the oldest texts on earth.
But
So
outside of the
Bible,
story,
brother,
show me evidence. Show me any evidence outside of the Bible. Show it to me in what you
that's
call.
like me saying to you, show me any evidence out of the
Yeah,
hieroglyphics of the Kemet people that what they say is true, or show me out
The
of
hieroglyphics is
the
a
book of
language with
Gilgamesh, show me
artifacts.
anything that the
Your
Acadians
story
believe
is
is true.
religious. It's simple. Your story is
so let me
religious.
engage with you.
How's my story religious when it deals with lands,
That's
it deals with
okay.
events, it deals with people, it deals with things? That's not a religion.
Right. Let him get where he sits. So let's go into the story. There's a couple things we look at, right? One, when Abraham or when Abram knows God, he's called El Shaddai.
Because he's Aramaic.
It's called El Shaddai.
That's Aramaic.
Yeah, because Jesus spoke Aramaic.
Well,
So we
Abraham is
gotta
from
look at those
Ur.
things, right?
So before there was a Hebrew, it was Aramaic. And so Hebrew is derived from the Aramaic. So when we talk about, let's talk about the Epic of Gilgamesh. People say
Right.
that is a
Well,
plagiarism.
hold up. Stay there.
Go
Hold up.
ahead.
Let's not move
Go ahead.
because we still there. You said something. He spoke Aramaic, just like Jesus spoke Aramaic. And Aramaic is a branch of the Boharic or the Sahidic, depending on which dialect you use, which is a branch that was derived from the Medunet. So we know where their information comes from because we
So
even
you're
see it
saying,
in their
hold
original
on, you
language.
said
Hold
something.
up, bro.
Hold on. You said something. I want to ask you on that.
Right.
So you're saying that the people of Mesopotamia
Yes,
up in the Persian areas, Iraq and Iran, they got everything they learned from Egypt.
according to the Greeks, according to the Greeks, and according to the Egyptians, they taught a whole lot of people. But when you start to get into the Ethiopian kings, it would appear the same thing. But let's not even go there. Let's just look at what it is. Your Bible says that Abraham came into Egypt. There he gained tons of riches. And then he told a lie to the Nesut Ben, the king. And he attained those riches, and he thought the king was going to kill him on behalf that he thought his sister, which was wife, was beautiful, right?
And according to you,
He
that's
didn't
a
kill
lie.
him.
That never happened. None of it.
That's in your Bible. That's what
It's
you
in
said you
the
want to say.
Bible,
That's
not my
wrong.
Bible, the Bible, brother. But you're telling me that that never happened. None of that. Abraham going in with his wife. None of that.
Reggie told you none of that happened. I
And
said
you got
where you
proof
go
that
is where we're
never
going.
happened. I'm asking you. You have proof that Abraham never entered in Egypt. You got
I
archaeological
never
proof of
said
that.
that. Don't put words into my mouth from another brother. I'm
Okay,
telling you
that's
what your
fair.
Bible says because you say you stand on your Bible, right?
It's the Bible, and I stand by it. I stand on it 10
Okay.
toes down with my life. It's the Bible.
Hello.
And it ain't a
So
white man's book. It's a book from people that look just like me and you, brother. So let's not play the games with racism and all this evolution business. Let's just get on to what we're saying. We don't want to believe in the Most High God. We want to follow other
let's
gods.
not
And now
sidetrack it
when
with
it's time,
evolution and other
now it's time
conversations
for
we ain't bring up today,
computers
right?
in our heads.
Right
We
now
want to say
you
we know
kind of
religion, but
sidetracked.
we come from monkeys. Is
Brother,
that what
stay
we're saying?
focused. You done mixed me up with Unc now. You done put words in my mouth from about 3 different brothers that I ain't never said yet.
straightforward.
right?
Just answer me straightforward. That's all. Straight from the head.
Yeah, we're answering straightforward, but you running over here, you done talked about monkeys, evolution, and everything else. We're talking strictly about your Bible and what you just claimed. Let's stay
Because
there.
hold on, you're refuting the
So,
Bible. You stood
brother,
on Egypt all these years.
calm
Now
down.
instead of standing on Egypt,
You
you're going
haven't
to monkey
say
talk. I
any
want
of
to
that.
know where you're going with this. Be straight out.
Brother, you talking about so you already messing up. You talking about and you mixing them up with me.
Okay.
I don't talk about monkeys. I tell you right for monkeys. I told you exactly. That's what I'm saying. Stop running over here, right here where you at. I'm in your lane because that's where you want to be at. It's all good.
Okay. So you stand on Egypt.
When we talk about Abraham,
I told you I stand on the Bible. Tell me what you stand on. I'll let you continue. Do you stand on Egypt?
Brother, you gonna let me finish the sentence?
Tell me what you stand on. You can finish. Don't be ambiguous.
I can't tell you nothing because you keep hopping in. Can I finish the sentence,
I stand
brother?
on the Bible. What do you stand on? The hieroglyphics of Egypt or not?
I stand on the Shemsu of the Star. I follow the methods and ways of the Star.
All right, break that down to us all. I'm listening.
Do you know what that is?
No, I do not, and I want to learn it from you.
So that's why I'm saying let's get back to this without being interrupted, brother. Get back so we can get to the business. It's what you asked for. This is what we're gonna get to. So
wait.
About
so wait. Okay, so look, I have some
about
I have some other guests.
Brother.
I see Yara. I see Yara getting ready, right? Harwin's been waiting for a long time, right?
I got here too before Harwin.
And I ain't finished the sentence yet, and I finished the thought.
Okay, so Mullins, you gotta an immortal dragon, but Mullins, you gotta let Asar talk, and then I can go to some of the other guests.
Okay, I'm gonna mute up for about 30 minutes. I'm gonna let all y'all talk. I'm here to learn. So I'm just gonna mute up.
Okay, so I see Patterson. Patterson was here the longest. So, Brother Patterson, how you doing? My Coptic brother, what's going on?
Yeah, peace. What's going on? So it's a lot to say, but I'm gonna shorten it so everybody else can talk. Right? We're talking about Africa. Period. That's what we're talking about. Correct? We're talking about Africa. All right. So I'm gonna make a statement. Down the street from me, there's a Ghana Christian church. Also down there's like 3 or 4 Ethiopian churches. Northbound, there's like 2 or 3 Coptic churches, right? All of them are African churches, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Africa. If you want to say, my lineage goes to Africa, I wake up African. I eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner African. You know what I'm saying? So I do respect Africa, but I'm also a Christian. So I want to ask you, Reggie, a question.
Yes.
Would you say Christianity or being a Christian is rooted in Africa? And the reason why I say that is because when I talk to my Ghana friends, they say like 70% of Ghana are Christians. I talk to Ethiopians. A high percentage of Ethiopia are Christians. Again, I go to the Coptic church, which I'm about to go in a few to go pray. They from Africa, Egypt, Alexandria, Cairo. You know what I'm saying? So would you say Christianity is rooted in Africa?
I'm saying I'm saying that no. I'm saying that yes. I'm gonna say in writing, and I'm gonna say writing. It's there, and I'm gonna say the faith is there. It's developed largely into Alexandria. Alexandria is the writing system of the world, but it's a foreign faith. It's not indigenous to Africa. And King Azana, he converted, and then the Europeans later converted. They later actually converted. It's the original group of people were Israelites or Hebrews that were messianic, right? And then it became a Gentile faith, right? It incorporated Greeks, and a lot of that was done in Alexandria. It's outside religion. It's an invading religion. And then it became Rome. It became Rome. So you need to read the riots of Alexandria. You need to read the murder of Hypatia. You need to read about the Christian groups in the cells in Saqqara and Hibbets that came from those areas into Alexandria to riot and plumage. And ultimately, when Rome decided that was going to be with Constantine, the religion, then that's what it was. It wasn't peaceful. It wasn't peaceful. It wasn't none of that. It was conflict among the cultures. It was war. So, but I have my brother Yara here listening.
Real quick, I want to say something real fast when you can let Yara go, right? So bottom line is, with all that being said, it came from Africa, period. It don't matter if it got translated.
I didn't say that.
But hold on. The word hold on, let me say this. The word Christian just means follower of Christ. You know what I'm saying? You're a follower of Christ. That's what Christian means.
Right, that's Greek. That's Greek.
Right, that's Greek. But guess who else speaks Greek? The Coptics. They speak Greek. They speak Arabic. They have a little. Coptic is another form of Greek. You understand what I'm saying? Because I've been going to the Coptic church for 13, 14 years, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I've been going.
I respect
I've been
that.
going there for. Yeah. Hold on. Let me tape off, man. Let me finish off. The problem is, all of us on this panel are people of color.
That don't mean nothing.
Into these. Hold on. We get into these little arguments. Hold on, brother. Hold on. I agree with you. Hold on. I agree with you if we beefing with one another. You understand what I'm saying? Because obviously we don't. But I want to say this. We get into these disputes, who colonized this, who got killed, this, that, and the third, the languages, the origin, this, that, and the third. But bottom line is, brother, I'm a Christian, and I know where Christianity came from. Flat line. I'm gonna stay a Christian, and and nobody's not gonna move me from being a Christian, bro. But I'm listening to y'all talk, and even y'all getting into disputes about the Kemetic faith, about the languages, about the gods, about this and that, and I'm learning from that. But it makes me more happier and honorable to be a Christian of the Most High God and to follow Christ.
That, brother. Amen.
You know what I'm saying? Period.
Why did you come to? Wait, hold on. Except for Yara, why do y'all come here? Why do you come to this channel? We don't come. I don't go to the Coptic church. I'm not going where you are, James Mullins. I could deal with Elder Yara because he's well read. You people are converts.
You need to have a one-on-one with me to see if I'm well read or not.
Bro, you're on my channel.
I guarantee you, if me and you hang out for an hour, you would reverse what you just said.
Try it now.
Brother Mullins, if your basis is just the Bible, do you know Greek?
Yeah, I read Greek and I read Hebrew. What's the problem?
Okay, so you read Greek and you read Hebrew.
And Latin. What's the problem?
And Latin. Right. Hold on. So you read Greek, Hebrew, and Latin.
So let me be clear.
Wait.
When I pick up the Bible, hold on. When I pick up the Bible, or when I'm studying science, most of it's Latin. So I have to learn the Latin. When I'm studying the history of Europe, a lot of it's Latin. So I have to learn the Latin. And when I read the Bible, I have to learn the Greek and the Hebrew. So it's not that you're going to ask me a word and I can interpret it right away because you have in mind one Latin.
Are those things outside of Africa?
I'm telling you, I study the languages.
Wait, are those things outside of Africa?
What is Africa got to do with it? Are all black people just from Africa? Are we dealing with evolution? Or
I'm not doing the black stuff. No, I'm not doing the black skin color stuff. I am saying that when Ptolemy Philadelphus, he imported Hebrews into Alexandria. He did that. Not throughout all of Egypt, just in Alexandria. Then you have later Messianic Hebrews, because they were still Hebrews, in Alexandria. They began writing.
Okay.
I had asked you earlier, and that's why I got off and let Assault and Cars talk. You did never show me that El Yahweh, I could say I could give you Baal and I can give you Anat, right? But and I can give you Baalat, but you can't show me widespread worship of El and Yahweh in Egypt. You cannot do that.
I told you the history that Yahweh came from Moses. The El came from Abraham, because El is Aramaic. Moses spoke Hebrew. Moses spoke the Egyptian tongue, whatever that's called, and he spoke Hebrew. Now, as far as the brother right
show
here,
that to me outside of the Bible. So I'm gonna move on right now.
Hold on. As for the brother beneath me, he's talking about Ethiopia, and they speak Ge'ez back in the days. So even though
they were converts, that's why it's the Ethiopian Coptic Church. They were converts from Mentis, who spoke Coptic.
Frumentus, hold on, not just Frumentus, but he worked also with the Byzantines. He worked with Justin and his wife, Theodora. No, they're all Israelites. They're all black people.
No, they're not.
Black,
don't do the black stuff
black,
with me.
His wife Theodora is black,
and King
Israel of Axum and Ethiopia
no, black
is black,
stuff.
and King,
color don't mean stuff.
King
Culture is not culture, bro.
Is black. Axum is black.
Okay, I'm gonna move on.
Moreau is
move on. You're not getting it.
Nubia, Africa, Northern Africa was all Christian.
No, you're not getting it.
They're all black. Our is black.
Well, I don't care about the black stuff. So
now you don't care about the black stuff. That's why I'm here. Because even though you believe in Egyptology, you're still my brother, and I love you, and I'm trying to communicate.
I don't care if you love me or not.
See, now you don't care about love. Now you don't care about black. Where do you stand, my brother?
Hold on. Before Yara, before Yara goes, because he's next, right? Before Yara goes, everybody's a brother here, man. We gotta stop arguing.
I ain't doing that brother stuff. Y'all showed me during my last debate.
Hold
You're not my brother. You're not my brother. That ain't doing that black stuff. I ain't doing no brother stuff.
Hey, I'm not
Reggie, hold on. Reggie, hold on, bro.
No.
Hold on, Reggie. I have no beef with you. See, this is the issue, right? I think, and this is. I'm gonna keep it solid. I'm gonna keep it real. Reggie, you need to address the Israelites, because for years and years since what, 2013, the conscious community were, I'm gonna say this, like, y'all were verbally abused by Israelites. And now you got a beef with the Bible. You got a beef with, the Most High God.
We weren't, listen.
Because there was always arguments who built the first pyramid. The Africans sold Israelites into slavery. You know what I'm saying? The wars of Egypt.
We normally don't.
I know. I understand that.
We allow people. We entertain their ideas. We had Kim on trial, right? Big F, big fail, right? Now we entertained it, and then all of a sudden we just said, you know what? We ain't gonna be nice no more. We ain't gonna be nice.
I told you you just basically proving my point. You said you're not gonna be nice anymore because for years, One West or the Israelites been trashing Africans, brother. Even on circumcision, y'all been going at it on circumcision, man.
I gotta move on.
And trust. I'm gonna move on. I'm going to say peace and blessings to everybody on this panel.
You can stay on. I just got to move on to other guests.
I'm about to go to the cop. I'm about to go to the Coptic church and go pray, bro.
Pray.
But everybody be safe and have a nice weekend. And I'm going to keep listening.
And when you pray, ask Izana
peace. Come on, B. Come on, peace, brother.
Right. Pray about traitors. Okay, so Elder Yara, I know you mad at me, but go ahead.
No, okay.
I know you mad.
So peace to you, Dr. Reggie, man. Peace to all the brothers on the panel. Shalom. Peace to the GD and Capone. Is that Immortal Dragon? Yeah, you make sure you hang around. So you talk a lot in the chat. I had a question about the. I just wanted to get clear about your statement about El not being known in ancient Kemet, or that they didn't worship El in ancient Kemet. That's to Dr. Reggie.
I missed that. What'd you say, Elder Yara?
Oh yeah, I was asking you, were you saying that El was not known in ancient Kemet, or that he wasn't worshipped in ancient Kemet?
He wasn't. He was known to the ancient Egyptians when they went over there to Canaan, right?
Mm-hmm.
But El was not worshipped in Egypt. Neither
Okay.
what, but Baal was.
Okay.
Baal was, but not. And you can see Hathor with Balak, but
Mhm.
with the Hekakasu. But El, he didn't have no traction. He didn't have no traction in Egypt.
So is there a particular time period you putting it on, or you just saying in total?
I am saying if you read, okay, so by the middle by, let's say, the Middle Kingdom. Um, well, there's the first intermediate period after
Mhm.
Pepi dies, and then it's the intermediate period where Africans are killing Africans in the Nile Valley, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
During the Old Kingdom, the Pepi and the prior kings a lot they intermarried and imported people from the Levant, Canaanites, and Libyans into the region, right?
Mhm.
Largely as workers. We don't have uh, much evidence of any of of large um, uh, of El worship. It's not preserved. But
Okay.
that's not the period that we're concerned about. The Old
Uh-huh.
Kingdom. We're
Uh-huh.
more concerned about, and we're not concerned about the first intermediate period,
Uh-huh.
uh, except uh, up until the point we are more concerned about the Middle Kingdom. So the Middle Kingdom, they specifically say the groups that they are dealing with, right? So we have King
Mhm.
Marikari, King Keti to Marikari.
Mhm.
We see much that the ancient people of the Nile didn't care too much about their religion. They just said, you know what, you the Amu and you're wretched, right?
Mhm.
And you wander from place to place. So from there, we don't know too much about the religion of those groups of people. So then we get into the Hekakasu period. Now we
Mhm.
find out that from the kings of the Hekakasu, who they're worshiping.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Okay, now I understand. Is it okay? And I like to get everybody's opinion on something. This some work that I did a couple of years ago. Do you mind if I share my screen? Do I have time to do that here?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And you got
Okay.
wolves. You got wolves over here. You got immortal dragon. You got Sean Kai. You got some wolves. The only person who might try to save you is GD Capone, GDN Capone. Go ahead.
Yeah. Let me do this. Let me do this really quickly. Let me do this really quickly. Uh, yeah, this just some work that I have, and you guys let me know when you can see my
Oh,
screen.
so y'all were gonna do the slow kill on me. Okay, go ahead.
No, so I just want to talk about. So this is work I did a couple of years ago, right? And it talks about Patah El Ya'u, right? And so let's get down here, right? So Patah El Ya'u. So it says the Jews consecrated their temple by calling God to hear their prayer and to thus open his eyes upon his place to dwell in it. The Hebrew Patah, PTH, name of El Ya'u, right? Or Eliyahu, some would say, as the opener was clearly a cognate of Patah. It was invoked at the consecration of their great temple in Jerusalem. In Young's Analytical Concordance, page 749, that's the source if anybody wants to ask, right? Top left column, the entry is Patah, right? That's how you sell it, a Patah Ya'ah, right? Or Patah Ya, or Patah Ya'u, meaning Yah opens.
Okay, brother,
Among
I love
those,
this. I love this. Can you give me a date?
yeah,
There's no date on here.
I'm getting to it as soon as you let me finish,
Okay.
right?
Bring it
So
out, y'all, Ron.
among those with the theophoric name of Ptah is a sanctuary priest in the time of King David, dated to 1015 BCE. So there's a date for you, right? So this name, a compounding of the holy names. Ptah, the opener, Yahoo or Yah, clearly identifies the Egyptian deity Ptah, the opener, with the Jews' deity Yahoo. In Memphis and elsewhere in Egypt and the region, Ptah, Shakur, Asar, Buddha, Sakra, Ashura was identified with the Jews' Baal or Baal Yahoo. Now let's go to the next one. So the etymology fiat now in the 1630s, the authoritative sanction from Latin fiat, let it be done, used in the opening of medieval Latin proclamations and commands, the third person singular, present subjunctive of fiare be done. Trust me, this is important. Come into existence, right? We know that is a name for Yahweh, right? To come into existence, right? From root heyehu, to be, to exist, to grow, used as passive, or fasiri, to make, to do, meaning a decree, command, or order, is from 1750. And the English word also sometimes is a reference to fiat lux, let there be light, in Genesis 1:33. And you can read that in the Decayu, Deus fiat lux et facta ex lux. That's in the Vulgate. So I'm getting somewhere, so just bear with me a few more seconds. So Hebrew and Egyptian, Ptah or Petak, it's the same cognate, right? It's a cognate of Ptah in the Hebrew, are all powerful invocations of the same Lord, the opener of the mind and senses, the giver of life and consciousness, the supreme awakener, right? So Solomon's prayer and dedication, 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 22 to 61. But will God really dwell on earth? The heavens, even the highest heavens, cannot contain you. How much less this temple I built? Verse 28, yet give attention to your servant's prayer and his plea for mercy. Lord, my God, hear the cry and the prayer that your servant is praying in your presence this day. Note this in Hebrew, be open is the Hebrew cognate for Ptah, right? Let's keep going. And I can keep going all the way through it. So you'll see here in verse 29, may your eyes be open, right? Toward the temple night and day, the place of which you said, my name shall be there, so that you will hear the prayer of your servant. Prayers towards this place, verse 30, hear the supplication of your servant and of your people Israel. When they pray towards this place, hear from heaven, your dwelling place, and hear from you, and you shall forgive. And then 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 52 is repeated, the opening, right? Ptah invocation formula of King Solomon's famous temple consecration prayer. Verse 52, may your eyes be open to your servants, right? That is a clearly direct cognate for the Egyptian deity Ptah, or Ptah El is how they would use it, Ptah El Yahoo, right? For you singled them out from the nations of the world to be your own inheritance, just as you declared through your servant Moses, when your sovereign Lord brought our ancestors out of Egypt. When Solomon had finished all these prayers and supplications to the Lord, he rose from before the altar of the Lord, where he had been kneeling with his hands spread out towards heaven. And he stood and blessed the whole assembly of Israel and loud voice saying, and you see it in the Strongs, you can look it up, Pekak, right? Pekak 641.91. And it says the exhaustive Strong's Concordance is to open. It's a primitive root to open the senses, especially the eyes, figuratively, to be servant. Now, there is an actual statute I want to show. I might have to come back and look at it because I have to go to another presentation, another lecture that I have.
Well, thanks, brother. Thanks a lot. I got to go, but you did prove that the Hebrews were black and they existed before a white man was even in power, because the Greeks didn't come into power to 333 BC. If you're dealing with King David, that's 1053. That's why actually for the date, and he's already with Egypt. They say El, they say Yah in Egypt. It has nothing to do with the white man. And you prove that the Bible and history and King James lived even in Egyptian records. So I'm gone. Y'all have a nice day. And I did come out of brotherly love because this is called the Black Channel. This is the brother channel, not based on religion. But if that's the way you want it, Reggie, I don't have to return. Just want to know, I'll pray for you.
That's the way.
And I like this, brother. I like when you broke that down. Thanks, brother.
I just let you convert.
You're a
that's
powerful
the way
scholar.
you're going to get it, right? Because the one thing about it is Yara actually offered evidence, you free.
I don't even know how to share my screen on my mobile phone, brother. I got all kind of stuff like he presented, but it's not about that. It's about you not wanting Hebrews to be black. You're trying to say they were white. If they can't be white, they never existed. Either one, because you don't like the Most High of the Bible. You're unrighteous as hell, and that's all right. I'm gonna stay righteous and love you anyway. I'm gone.
Y'all love by conquering. I'll see you later. Come back again. Y'all love by conquering. Get out of here with that BS. So,
y'all right.
Yes, sir.
Can I want to ask y'all also along with that presentation you have in the Greek, it say the father, that word is pater in Greek.
Yes, it is. Absolutely, it is. And I'm glad you brought that up, because what it shows is a cultural continuity from ancient Kemet all the way to the well into the beyond the first century, because they're still using this, whether it be and it's not just a cultural memory, it's how they're addressing this deity. They're still using this in his name.
I will go further and even go into Mesopotamia, where Anu is the father. Anu would be considered the pater. So it's like he said, it is a cultural continuity that's going from the Fertile Crescent into Egypt and then into Greece, and later came Greco-Roman.
Hey, I appreciate you, Dr. Richard. I got to run, man. I got to do something with my family, man. But I appreciate y'all, man. If y'all still on, man, I'll try to jump back on a little bit later.
But what I want to say, hey, peace to the panel, Sean. Reggie, what I want
no, you skipped Immortal Dragon. Somehow
I'm sorry about that.
Yara, we'd like to see you present that fully, but
other shirt.
But you got a mission, Yara. So, Immortal Dragon, what do you got to say? Because the Hebrews are trying to jump me.
I was trying to critique Yara real quick, but he walked away and stuff. But first thing is, can we try to stick to the topic when you guys come on the panel, bro? Like, it's so annoying. We have 24 days of the month where it's just Hebrews, and then we have 1 or 2 days where it's some non-Hebrew stuff. And then we always wind up back talking about Hebrews, bro. Like, Patterson, if you're listening still, Yara, if you go on the phone later, if somebody send this to him or whatever, but come in with a question regarding the topic, bro. I'm so annoyed by hearing the same Hebrew stuff 29 days of the goddamn month, bro. It's so annoying. I have a main question pertaining to the actual topic, which is, do these, how do I want to say, descriptions of man, however you want to put it, like the Ba, Ka, Ren, Ib, etc., do these ideas like change dramatically throughout the time periods, or do they have a generally same understanding up until the Ptolemies or whatever? And then second half of that question is, do the Coptics use these different from the regular Egyptians, I guess, or the dynastic period, whatever you want, however you want to phrase that inside? Okay, and then you can answer that.
I'll deal with the second part later. So Coptic is a language, as you know, and when the Coptic period comes, what you call Coptic Christianity, what they do is they challenge the indigenous faith, but it's largely a replacement, right? They're trying to get rid of Serapis. They have riots in Alexandria. They're trying to get rid of the indigenous worship. So they do some syncretism, like I've showed the Coptic magical spells with the 3 aqua gods, where Horus and Isis mentioned along with Jesus, but that was their plan, because they speak for Isis now, and they say Isis says, don't go to me, go to Jesus Christ for healing, right? So it becomes replacement in writing and literature, right? With this with Coptic, because you have that is the language of Alexandria, where these groups of people are largely at. The issue with the funerary text was that earlier in the Old Kingdom, up until the early Middle Kingdom, these concepts of the afterlife was largely for the king. So a lot of this was descriptions of the king's Ren, the king's Ka, the king's Ba, the king's Shechem, right? And then in the coffin text, it becomes kind of democratized. So when it becomes democratized, then what they weren't talking about, because everything else was secesta or secret, they were making it more, they began to talk about these concepts as they began to give it to the non-royal people, or more so the common people. So it changes, but remember, it's still, to me, it's still culture and belief, right? And so I'm not a practitioner like Hassan Ka, right? So I don't. I just see this as their agency, what they are saying. I don't see it as. I just see it. So I look for it where it appears. So I know it's more prominent when, let's say, the time period of Mentuhotep reunites the kingdom because they were fighting. So they were too busy fighting the Antefi Thebians and the Akedi people. They were fighting at this particular time period. So and they were fighting for kingship. Mentuhotep now, he kind of begins to democratize it, and then you have the coffin text period, right? So it becomes more relevant when the people want to know how they can get in the afterlife, or to be included in the afterlife. If that helps.
Yes, I'm following along. Thank you, Reggie, for that. And I don't know if Yara's back or he's doing his own thing, but you might have to drop him down. But if somebody can clip this later.
Yara just got fly on him, boy. He done changed his shirt. He's going out to Chicagoland now, Roy. Huh? Yara is not playing.
Yeah.
He's
I don't think he's with us, but
New York. Whatever he wearing ain't rocking in New York, but it could rock in Chi-Town. But that ain't.
But if somebody can clip this for Yara, if he's not, because he's definitely not listening, send it to him for late. Oh, you are? Okay, Yara, I got a thing for you on your little presentation thing. The breakdown thing was fine, and what you were going through was cool, but it would have been better if, like, you grab that source and just put the image of the source on, and then compared it to, like, how Patah's written out and how this is written out, and then it would have been a visual understanding that would have been better. And then the other, the Hebrew text, when you were bringing it up, like, was it King something? That would have been good if you just showed that text in Hebrew and illustrated what that was, and then brushed it onto that, and that would have been good. And I have one small question for you, because I don't know. When you say Patah is the opener, where did you get that from? Because I don't know that part.
Let me help you, because I see some silly people in the chat saying I made that up. So let me slap them across the face real quick. And then
Yara did not make that up.
Let me hey, Harwin,
let Yara defend himself.
Let me let me handle these people, man. They're like,
all right, I got you. And I ain't know you was from the city, Yara.
Huh?
I ain't know you was in the city.
We all from the city.
Yeah, Harwin, you dressed like that too?
Can I share my screen again, Dr. Reggie?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I'm watching.
All right, y'all. Let me know when it's sharing.
It's sharing.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yara. It's sharing automatically.
Right. So somebody said that they looked up my source that I use from the Young's Analytical Concordance, and it wasn't there. Maybe they're not understanding.
Can you zoom in just a little bit, Yara?
Yeah, let me.
God dang. Trying to hijack my show with new Israelite information. Ain't that something? Go ahead, Yara.
Is that a little bit bigger?
I was talking about the soul. The soul ain't got nothing to do with ancient Egypt, and now we.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No,
yeah.
but go ahead. This is interesting.
Okay.
Hey, yo, my Cash App do work. Yo, I haven't done the show in a long time. I got 0, so I'm asking for some lunch money. Lunch money. Lunch money, $5.
Yeah,
$10.
Support Dr. Reggie. Absolutely.
Thank you.
And this is research, but we can really read through it because I don't think people really understand biconsonantal roots, triconsonantal roots. Like we don't like if you're looking at these Hebrew words, like they didn't really add the vowels. They had the sounds, but they didn't use the actual vowel symbols, right? So if you're looking at PATH, right? You really wouldn't read it in Hebrew with the A, right? You would just see PTH. That is Patah. That's exactly how you would read it because we know that the Hebrew is a child language of the Meta Neter, right? I don't think nobody really argues this. So it's a sister language.
Go ahead, y'all, Rob. I hear you.
Yeah, it's a sister language to the Phoenician, right? They may be about 100 or so years apart, but they're really closely related at the time.
No, Yara, you get ready to try to go up against the high. You can't go halfway. You got to go 100.
Because see like what Dr. Reggie was saying. Oh, Harwin, I'm glad you said that. Let me get back to this. Hey man, I tried to catch you before you jumped off last night, bro, because I was 1000% on board exactly where you were going. Because if they understand the argument that you was making, these Cometians and Kemetic orthodoxy guys and Kemetic science guys, they're dead. And their whole argument when they start talking against the Bible and other works, right, and other spiritual works, because they don't have a spirituality. And Sanjeti, hey, listen, man, I've never seen a better Sandman move than Sanjeti did yesterday. When he was bringing out when he was talking about, well, it was childish to really have this arguments.
He started buck dancing again, like Sean usually do. Somebody he agree with, he got to jump in front of the bullet for him and get to cut me off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some got the buck dancing
because the gig is up, and this is why I'm telling that. Listen, Dr. Reggie and I don't agree on everything, right? We don't even have to have the same ideology, but where you're correct in the information is where you're correct in the information, right? And when we start talking about whether or not the deities we believe in, right, are actual, right, versus what he's trying to make this fake definition of literal, because if y'all actually look at it and just saying, oh, it's symbolic. And Sanjeti, I wish I could have caught him yesterday. I just didn't have time, but I'm gonna catch him when he comes back in 2 weeks, because he said so many things that contradicted himself, right? He started off saying that ancient Egyptians weren't xenophobic. Of course they were xenophobic. I don't know what definition of xenophobic he was using. Like this high delusion of what ancient Kemet actually was is not scholastic, right? It's Kemetic orthodoxy, Kemetic science at best, and they've made it up. They made it up. I'm telling you, they made it up. And so I'm going to get into these things a little later, but just let me go into this for the people that was listening, because I made a statement, and I didn't even use this when I did that in 2004, but it says on page 749 of Young's analytical course at the bottom of the primary entry is the English word for Patah. I never said anything about Patah Ra. Whoever said that in the chat. So I don't know what you're talking about. I clearly said Patah El Ya'u or Ya'u, right? So we can go into these things here. Let me see if I can get it.
Can I get a clarifying question while you're looking that up?
Yeah, absolutely. That might not be the way.
The Patah opener you're speaking of is in Hebrew, and not Patah the God is an opener, correct? That's what you're saying?
Say that one more time.
That's what he tried to do, Immortal. That's what he
the
tried to
Ptah. Yeah, that's what I was trying to clarify. You said the Ptah that you're referring to is Hebrew Ptah, means opener, but the god in Egypt Ptah is not an opener. That's what you were saying, right?
Well, no.
Or is Ptah an opener to you?
No, I'm saying this. I'm saying it's a synchronism. I'm saying it's a synchronism because they're using. Listen, we have to. So here's the position. If the Bible holds a position, right, according to its narrative, that ancient Israelites were in Egypt for 300, 200 years, 400 years, there's no way they did not come out of that culture, being that close to that culture, without understanding or using some of their language and some of their understanding. It's ludicrous to even make that argument, which is why I don't make that argument, right? So it's not difficult for me that when I see they're using the cognate, right? Patek or Peshek or Ptah, not Peshek, but Ptah or Patek or Patek Yah as the opener, or Yah as the opener, that they're deriving these from the cognates that they learn from the Meta Neter, right? That they learn from the culture when the ancient Egyptians or the people of ancient Kemet used Ptah, and he is the opener. He's the God that opens the mind. He's the God that opens everything.
No, he's a creator God.
Can you pause that? Wait, Reggie. Hold on, Reggie. Can you pause right there? Where can you tell me where you find Ptah as the opener? Whether he opens the mouth, opens the mind, opener of the way, etc. Can you tell me where you got that from? Because I haven't heard that.
Ptah is the maker, the fashioner, and the creator.
He's the fashioner. He's the creator.
Right. But is that the opener though?
Or even the beginner?
Yeah, but I read that in my presentation.
The opener of the mouth. Yeah.
You guys are all talking at the same time, but Ptah opens the mouth, that's what you're saying? If that's the thing you're going to, then I'm with that a little bit. But if you're saying like
no, he's the maker, creator, fashioner. He's a sculptor and he's a carver. Nope, I ain't doing
thank
that.
you. Thank you, Reggie. Thank you, Reggie. All right. I'm done with my question.
Hold on, I'm finna share my screen. I'm sharing my screen right now. Right? I'm sharing my screen right now. So Ptah is the ancient Egyptian creator god credited with inventing the opening of the mouth ritual. What are we talking about?
Yeah, say that.
Where is that from, though?
With your own information.
Where do you keep saying where is that from, though, bro? Like,
because
let's read, bro.
It's right there, Google.
Okay, look.
Cairo Top Tours.
You see right here, right? They're doing the opening of the mouth ceremony right here. I know that's what that is, right? So let's deal with it. And so that's the extract from Papyrus of Hanun-Nefer, 19th dynastic period, right? Of the book.
Wait, you ain't showing the yeah, right. You still showing the
I'm sorry. Thank you. I appreciate
it. The opener of the mouth.
Can y'all see it now?
Oops.
No, it's the same thing.
There you go. Yeah, we can see it now.
Yeah. Can you see it now?
Damn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So let's
it's the scene right there.
No. Wait. Stop.
Can you?
Wait.
There go your papyrus.
Wait. But listen, Ptah, in that particular period, there's text, right? But there's Tahuti. Right? He's in God's sacred speech. You already know that, right?
Yes.
He's with the net of sacred speech, right? There's Horus, right? He and this is an older period. This is older period, right? So Horus now he's opening the mouth of Osir, right? The restoration of the dead father. There are a number of the syncretism within the pantheon of the important Neteru, right? So you can see the ritual changing. Who cares? Well, I'm not a practitioner, so excuse me. But you could see the ritual involving other different special neters or important neters take on a particular role. There's syncretism, but he's not the only one. But go ahead.
Yeah. So I don't. That's funny. I don't disagree with that.
They worshiping Ptah and they started worshiping Asar.
Yes, absolutely. Because Asar eventually absorbs or conquers Ptah, right? And so this is what we know happens and how it plays out.
But Asar is not a supreme creator nature. He's not. He's a baby. He's one of in the Ennead. He's a baby, right?
Like Sanjetti.
So he's got the same strength of energy as Seth. He's got the same energy as the Seth and Nimrod. They all and Horus the Elder. They all brothers and sisters, family, right? He ain't special in the pantheon until they decide to have more of a funerary ritual, and they make him more. The priests make him more important because that's when they are actually, that's their commerce. They selling spells and hocus pocus, right? That's what they are doing, right? But prior to that, you see other deities, Sakir, right? And then they merge. So sometimes when they merge, people get confused. But go ahead. Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah. So again, and
blow that up.
Yeah. Let me try to make it a little bit.
Yeah, blow that up.
Can y'all see it? Is that better?
A little bit, just a little bit. Okay. Yeah,
that's
right
right
there. That's
okay.
Good.
So this is from the Global Egyptian Museum .org. It's a glossary. It's pretty much just a bar from there. But they talk about this. They talk about Ptah. They call him the god of the resident city of Memphis. Originally, Ptah was probably the divine craftsman. This is confirmed by his role as the patron of the workmen and workshops and tomb builders, including their El Medina, and by the title of High Priest of Memphis, who is called the leader of the craftsmen. It is assumed that Ptah acquired his role as creator god through this function. Various sources, for the example, the coffin text and the Shabaka stone, which I think my good brother Harwin mentioned yesterday, contained a version of creation by the god, his heart. Oh, okay. Hey, y'all, I got to run again. So, but we clearly see Ptah's tied to the opening of the mouth ritual. Here it is here. And thoughts were spoken in being. Ptah is also supposed to be the one who designed the opening of the mouth ritual in the Memphite triad, which is another thing because we know that's one of the first renderings of a trinity, right? Which is the Memphite triad, right? So these things, like I said, they have very strong syncretism. I got to run, family, but peace. I'm gonna try to jump back.
All right, you come back. You come back with that. Do it on the big show with Black News 102, or me and Yarok, we got a truce right now because he's got a theory to put his foot up the high priest's back.
And I'm on my way.
I'm not messing with my good brother Elder Yarok because he got something cooking. So there's Apostle.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Reggie. I just wanted to come on that just to say, because I know, Reggie, you're going to be fair with me.
Maybe. Just
because I might disagree or we might disagree, you're going to allow me to go ahead and say, you're not going to stomp on what I'm saying, stop me from saying it, kick me out of the show. You're not going to do all of that. So I thank God. But yesterday, sincerely, I asked 2 questions, trying to figure out the stances of where Sanjetti was taking his position from. And I believe the reason why Sarnetta handled me that way is because somewhere in Sanjetti thinking, he's very much like Jabari. He almost sounds like a recruit. Like a Jabari recruit.
Oh no!
I wanted to know. All I want to see. Don't talk.
Let me say he's not a Jabari recruit at all. He actually reads the Medu Neter way better now than me. So he's just cleaning up some things and putting it in another perspective. But he's not no recruit of no Jabari.
Oh, okay.
Jabari can't tie his shoes.
Okay. Well, one thing I know is that we need, well, I'm not going to say what we need to do. I'm going to say what I do. I don't hold to this one homogeneous thought of the continent of Africa. There are 54 different countries that conduct themselves in different ways and mannerisms. They got different beliefs. They got different customs. They're not homogeneous. And we can't sit there and say, as go one African country, there goes all African countries. Because the reality is, there were African countries assisting the Muslims, the Arabics, in the slave trade. There were Africans assisting the Europeans in the slave trade. All of Africa didn't come together and fight the Belgian, the Dutch, the English when they came to their shores. So, frankly, for me, just trying to get clarity on how can one, put it this way, if I was to tell you that I'm a Christian and a Muslim at the same time, what would you think of me? You would want to know how something like that will work. How can you have two masters? How can you come from a teaching that's 1,500 miles northern Africa from a teaching that's 1,400 or 1,500 miles below the Sahara with a whole different teaching, and reconcile that? I don't understand that. And I was just trying to figure it out. I wasn't being sarcastic. I wasn't being nasty, but it turned out that way because of the way I was handled. But this is supposed to be the toughest show. But when you can't stand on your position and question people, it ain't that tough, man. Let's not fool each other, man. That's not being tough when you censoring. And you telling me, well, the reason why I did that is because I wanted to save you. I got a son, 48 years old. What is Sanjay going to do? What could he do to me to harm me? What? Hurt my feelings? Please.
Well, Apostle, Sarnetta smarter than where people think. So Sarnetta will let you do a presentation, but if people got questions, and he said he'll be back in 2 weeks, right? Then he's gonna have to answer those questions, right? He's gonna have to answer those questions. So you're not. I don't think that you're completely wrong. But Sanjetti is a very good student of my teachers, which are his teachers, and so he's got to ask. He's got to answer those questions. But there was the national belief of in that kingdom of let's say Tameri Kemet, right? But there were local beliefs in each of the nomes. Each nome had had their own city netter, and so these the king would put together things like the pyramid text and stuff, which would be national because he is saying so. But through the nomes, his job was to keep those nomes together, right? So he would have to include it. So you're not wrong, and a lot of people are not wrong. There were different beliefs in different places at different time periods.
Right. Let me ask you one question.
There's no unified. There's belief like some of the some of the Kemetics, and I'm excluding Jabari. I mean, I'm excluding Sanjetti. But what you've heard from the high priest you're gonna have to second guess, because now we have a person who is of the tradition, like a Saw and Ka, that read the Medu Neter. Go ahead, you can ask a question.
Yeah, last question is, how did you feel? Do you think respectfully he answered your question about literal and what's real and what's true? Or do you think he slipped through a slippery door and avoided answering the question when we knew and he knew what answer we were seeking?
Well, I've known Brother Sanjetti for, I don't know, maybe about now 12, 15 years, when he was much younger. He answered the question the way he wanted to answer the question, and I've had, how can I say, not so good back and forth with him. So since I'm being patient. I'm being patient. So what he said was, he had a show. Sarnetta gave him a show, and when he's a guest of Sarnetta, Sarnetta gives everybody a lot of latitude. It's not up to me. My whole point of it is, I already did what I had to do. 10 toes, feet, elbows, and headbutts to what I needed to do.
Right.
Now, so I don't have to go back. That person is, he's on the come up. The person that I'm talking about. Sanjetti is much more prepared with the text. My whole point of it is, he knows already, and that everything that's written is uniliterals, biliterals, triliterals. They're already literal. Every name, every word is already literal. It has a meaning, right? So he knows that, and he said that on the previous show, right? So he knows that, but he's in the middle ground. He's got to protect his tradition, at the same time teach. So my opinion about what he did, what he said, was not. It didn't hit me hard, and I can just listen to what he has to say. But because I had my you know what my other agenda is. My other agenda is, well, at least the brother knows Medu Neter, and way better than me at this moment, right? Way better than me, right? And he also knows West African traditions and other traditions. He's studying very hard. It's impressive, right? I'm not. My issue is, let the people talk. So so when my opponent said something that the Neteru are not actual, right? That is the new argument now. So Yara said that he's gonna put his size 11 feet, 12 feet on the person that said it, and I'm interested to hear what the pushback is, because if the Neteru are not literal, as Yara is saying now, then the Hebrews and everybody else didn't steal Jack from Kemet, because it's not actual, it's not literal, right? So what did the Hebrews and Israelites steal? Symbols. They don't walk around with a 12-inch, 15-inch ankh. You don't. You ain't steal the symbols. What did you steal then? If it's not the deity, not the divine, the deities, if you ain't still the divine and deity, and you just stole stories, that don't fix itself, yo.
Yeah. All right. But look, let me shout out HOK. We are all part of the HOK family. And we are doing some things over here. We are the channel that allow different opinions and people to come on and express themselves regardless. So,
but now, because of that, you Hebrew and Israelites and Christians, y'all might be on a rise, because until the Nile Valley group disavow what that dude said, right? We have a problem, because y'all are going to say that y'all ain't steal nothing from.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I believe it's totally different. I believe that Yahushua is a literal being that even lives today, sits at the right hand of his father, Yahweh. Yeah, on the throne. I believe that literally, and that he's soon to return. And hey, the chariots of the Most High are 20,000, and his angels are thousands upon thousands. And we all going to see that. Hallelujah. Thank you.
Somebody heard Nile Valley culture. So all you high priest fans, one, I'm sure most of you didn't watch the debate, and second, what can I say? The facts are the facts. So I would say is that to attack Nile Valley, to say that what they did was not literal and not actual, that is problematic, and that is hurting. That is going to hurt us, right? And so until again the Kemetic community come out and say that he was wrong, I'm just gonna let the Hebrews and Israelites pour tar on it until they come out and be honest, right? So Apostle, you're not wrong. I just refuse to. It was his show, and of course I came on and I actually said that no, the people Kemet believed that they had the sole God, right? And I came on and said that, and I gave some examples, and we talked about it, and they were I'm not going to say xenophobic. I'm just going to say that they felt that they were the chosen people. They felt everybody else was babblers, right? And they were superior until they weren't, right? And the reasons why they weren't, they instead of building forts, having a standing army, they began to spellcast and sell amulets and stuff like that. And then the priests became kings. And I argued that in my previous, I've been arguing that for 8 years. They didn't take care of their business. They thought that spells and stuff would work instead of an organized army, and they lost.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate you. I'm gonna sit back and just continue to listen, y'all.
So there was Immortal Dragon, G.D. Capone, and Harwin and Shesmu is on. Now listen, I'm checking my Cash App. I got 0 Cash Apps, 0. So we're gonna do it like this. Family, I don't own this channel. I only come on to teach, right? And then for my time, which has been about 2 or 3 hours, I ask for some support. So I think you're learning a lot. So there's somebody in here that's got $5 or $10 or buy out the show. It's only fair. It's only fair. If you don't like me, that's one thing, but I am one of the top researchers on this platform, and I do good shows. And my show was that ancient Egyptians did not have a soul, right? They had something else, but they didn't have a soul. We don't have to conflate Abrahamic faiths with Nile Valley. That's an important show. But so I'm waiting. Who's going to be the first person to support Brother Reggie? But y'all can continue.
It's on me, Reggie.
Yeah.
Who is it on?
All right. Yeah. Shalom. Peace to the panel. Shalom, Elder Apostle. So I had a question. Remember, a few weeks back, I messaged you. I had replied to you in the comments, and I was asking you about the procession of Amu, right? Because I think the reason that I asked is because I don't know the metanoia like that, and I don't proclaim to. What I do, I go by what the Egyptologists say, and I cross-reference that with like brothers like yourself, Smash Rockwell, and my good brother Cosmic Sankofa, to see is there an agreement, right? So I remember a while back seeing you in the museum with Brother Zion Lex, and y'all was going over the inscription in Khnum Hotep III tomb, which is called the Procession of the Amu. So here's the question. When you can pull it up if you want, right? So in the mainstream Egyptology, they go by the Gardner's glyphs. How Gardner parsed the glyphs in his translations. So it's a determinative there. And for the record, this is another disclaimer. I'm not saying that the A'amu are Hebrews or Israelites or none of that stuff, right? I don't believe they was Israelites. So we can get that out the way. But it's a determinative there, and it's a man with his hands behind his back and he's kneeled down. I'm describing the determinative. But when I read what the Egyptologist says, all the mainstream Egyptologists is saying that that's Gardner glyph A1, right? Which would be a man.
A1 is not so you're talking about something called the Seker Ankh, the living captives. A1 is the seated man. The seated, right. Okay. And Amon-Ra McCarthy, man, thank you so much for the first Cash App for 3 hours. I appreciate it. Anybody else? Amon-Ra McCarthy, man, thank you so much. I was in the desert. I can't believe this. But we're having interesting conversations, and we're being honest in our conversation, and it's a teaching moment, and I'm letting everybody talk, and you do got $5. But go ahead. So your question, if I can answer it, is well, you talked about some glyphs, but on the issue of what are you saying about captives?
Right. So they saying that this the one with the glyph that they saying that is the one that say like it's a people, like it's saying that it's people, right? Where it's a man and he's like on one knee with his hand up, right?
Yeah. And the woman is A1B1. Yes, A1B1. Right. People. Yeah.
But what I see is that it's Gardner's A13 glyph. The bond man, the man with his hands behind his back like he's tied up, and he's on both knees down. But
so I'm gonna go to the Gardner codes.
Huh?
I'm gonna go to the Gardner codes. But what's your point? Okay, so we know there's a glyph, there's a number.
Metanetta, what do you say that glyph is that's in the possession of it's the last, it's one of the last ones, the determinative.
Well, we'll get to it.
Because I believe that they lying.
You believe that what is lying about what?
The Egyptologists, the mainstream. I believe that they keep saying, because they saying that that's talking about people, but it shows the man with his hands behind his back, which we'll be talking about.
Okay, so let me just show it. Let me show it to the audience. So let's just stop for a second, right? Okay. So share screen. Here we go right here. Share screen. There you go. So okay. So blow it up. Right. So these are the basic Gardner codes. There are some more, but what are they lying about? Here's A13, right? A13 is a classifier. It's usually a classifier. Doesn't have, right? So which one are you talking about? And why?
So they saying that the one in the possession of Amu is A1.
For Amu is A1, so we could find we can find that in let's see, Petersburg. Is it Petersburg Papyrus that we can find it? Or let me just see where I could find it. Mercari. So let me just okay. I have to stop sharing my screen. Okay. So, but what are you saying is untruthful?
So I'm saying that from my lookership, right? I'm saying that's A13 because you can clearly see the hands behind the back, and kneel down. Yes, I'm saying so that's what.
That. They're saying it's not A13.
I'm saying that it's not A1, it's A13. So
it's A13.
When you look up, any
It's 8:13.
interpretation of it. But
It's 8:13. So,
Mhm.
but what's so you okay? So I got that that you think that some Egyptologists took that, but is there something else going on with that?
no, that was it. That was it.
Yeah.
I was just wanted to point that
If I
out.
can
That the
find
mainstream,
Mercari,
yeah, like I said, lie. I meant to say, yeah, that it's a mistranslation right there from them.
it could be but we could let's see if but go ahead, so somebody else, because I need to make sure I can find these quicker,
Peace,
because
peace. This is Brother Patar. What's going on, Reggie? Peace to the
what's peace, Brother Patah?
peace to the chat. Yes, sir, my brother. Man, I need you to defend. Well, first of all, let me say, the teaching on the car, and the bar, was good teaching. I appreciate that. But come on, we got to defend the craft. But I want to ask Immortal Dragon, not to be long-winded, real quick. Look up how many dynasties there were by 2000 BC. If you would do that for me. You hear me? Can you hear me, Immortal Dragon? Yeah. How many dynasties? And then these words, this Ptah and Yahoo, this stuff, these are foreigners coming in into the Delta and Lower Kemet. The furthest they may have reached is Memphis, where everybody would come to the said festival. And then when they took over and tried to take over all of Kemet, they almost got to Thebes, and almost took over for a minute, but they always got pushed back. And I would say, Brother Harwin, you're absolutely correct. The Aamu were treated as enemies. Hands were behind their back. Now, when they took over Lower Kemet, then of course they want to
Oh,
say
that wasn't Howard. That wasn't me talking. That was somebody else.
Oh, my bad. I'm not sure who that was then. So, but anyway, when he was saying, the seated man with the hands behind the back, yeah, he was a prisoner. And then Shalom, we don't sue for peace. We say Hotep. we give peace by breaking bread, fitting a table, and we sit down and break bread and eat together and talk. We're not coming, with our hands up, hollering about "Don't kill me, Shalom, Shalom, don't kill me." We don't sue for peace like that. And that's y'all's way. But if y'all want to be the Aamu who came in, mixed with some of the African Egyptians or African Kemetiu, and then started living in a different lifestyle, and then got kicked out through the exodus of Kamos, and said either you practice our faith, Ma'at, correctly, or get on the heck out. And that's your exodus. The Red Sea, you got slaughtered, blood flowed, and you went on about your business, and then you killed other Africans in the so-called Levant in West Asia. So, I mean, yeah, I say that brother is absolutely correct. That's who y'all are. If that's who you want to be, then y'all go right ahead. I'm going to stay indigenous African. Do you want to say Kemetiu, West African, Congo, South Africa, Menominee, Ghana, Mali, all the great nations of Africa. I'm not going to despise Egypt with no biblical Bible. I don't know how we letting the Hebrews take over the airways again. This is ridiculous. But I'm gonna land my plane right there.
Because the Hebrews and the Hebrews and Christians pay more. The Nile Valley people, they don't pay nothing. Let me check my Cash App. That's why.
Okay, well, let them pay. Let them pay penance and make it up them steps of that Catholic church.
But don't get mad. Don't get mad at Sonetta. Don't get mad at Sonetta because
why would you bring Sonetta up? He's not here.
No, because it's his channel. All the people on his channel that we work, we teach, but we also do it for Cash Apps for our time, and if people don't want to support, right? But the Hebrew support Amin Ra and the Christians, Amin Ra McCarthy is a great supporter. Most of you just how can I say you on a train?
Oh, okay. So,
If,
Brother
if you
Reggie,
say if you say my information is whack, just say my information is whack.
Brother Reggie, you know I've given you, I've
I'm not
blessed.
talking about you.
Oh, okay, make it
Chesmo.
clear. And
I'm not talking about you.
I paid for debates over the last 15 years, and so I've supported Sodnet.
Chesmo, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the people that got hurtful things to say. They don't go to the debates. They pick and choose people, right? It's and then they can't even tell you why they think a person won.
Okay.
They can't even tell you that.
Yeah.
Them be the so-called fake timid dudes.
So I sent a question to Immortal Dragon. Can you answer to that research if you were able to bring that up? And
AI thing that I quick looked up said 11 distinct, but that's not plus or minus whether there were no marks in between or whatever. So yeah, there's approximately 11. I have a question for you, Shednu, too, because I think you misspoke, and I want to make sure you did.
Go ahead.
Because you said something at the beginning. I think you misspoke. Because you might have said that Ptah was a foreigner, and I don't think you meant that all the way.
No, I never said that.
Oh.
No, I said.
Okay, I think you.
and the culture vultures who heard of the father of the gods, Ptah, those were culture vultures that came in and co-opted that name and started, just like the Ptolemies when they became, the the lion, and when they became kings, they culture vultured and took over the name Ptah.
Gotcha. I got you. Thank you. I misheard you. My bad.
Well, I mean, Yarod's got to come back. I'm not gonna beef with Yarod because he's gonna put his he said he's gonna put his size 11 on the person I debated for saying that the natural are not actual, and he's doing it for his purposes. And I'm gonna show the people why you need to check that information, right? So I'm gonna let him. I'm gonna let him do that. Harwin is back up, and Immortal Dragon is checking people, so I got to be careful with him. Harwin, what's going on? Harwin dropped off again. He must be driving. So anyway, family, let me just see it. I'm gonna have to leave soon, so I'm just checking out what the people say. So Immortal Dragon, you're up, man. You're the only person left. Everybody's gone. So
everybody left. Okay. This is a good show, actually. I enjoyed it. I was working, so I have to go back and play a little bit because I missed a little bit halfway through. But I enjoy your presentations, Reggie. It's really good. And everyone who comes on in the future, let's just try to stay on topic, man. Let's just try to stay on topic as much as we can.
It becomes the Christian Hebrew takeover.
The converts theory.
Yeah, they have to. But that's because they support the channel, and so that's what it is. And so my whole point was anti what they were saying, because why should we be using Nile Valley terms and calling it Christian terms? Why should we be doing that? But we do that, and we don't catch ourselves because we're listening to the Kemetic Christians. The other part of the show was what our guest yesterday, Brother Sanjetti, said, and some people feel that they didn't get a chance to kind of triage what he had to say.
Understandable.
And the rest was Yarod's presentation. Yarod's presentation on the Ptah Yahoo. Well, we got to make sure words mean the same thing in the same text, right? So we'll get back to that. Harwin, what's going on before you get cut off?
What's going on?
You and Immortal Dragon is the last, and then I'm gonna close down the show because I'm not getting no support.
Y'all come on, support Reggie, man. He up there teaching.
Most of the comments is about who they think won, but they can't tell you why they think the person won. But go ahead. So
That's what you get from you know.
So you was Immortal Dragon. You was on it. You was a guest yesterday. I mean,
I was in the
yesterday.
I was listening, but I missed like a little bit. But I'm listening to most of it.
And Harwin,
I like when he comes on.
Yeah, he's a great articulator. But so Harwin, you got into it because of what? What happened?
Who said Daddy?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Because he dismissed your question as something that wasn't adult-like, as if it's childish to have that argument. It was speaking in absolutes about things that he believes and interprets as symbolic. When I was very clear in what I said, and I made it specific about when I said ages.
Yeah.
And I clearly compared it to a source that you showed today, Kim Netatech from Manito. And I related it to a question that Sankofa had asked him about, is the late period and Greco-Roman period valid? And Son Jetty said, I read everything. And yes, it is. That's just merely Egyptian culture. It's because they're in dominant politically doesn't mean they own the culture. And then he used an example of, I believe he used an example to say, whatever culture somebody is in another country, I think he used America to basically answer the question. Our culture and things that we do is still what we do. So I used that against him because his answer to your question was very dismissive and condescending.
Oh, well, I get that from here's the thing is my teachers are Dr. Ricchetti and Infadici Jehudimas. And I sat in the class in 1985, right? I can hear what other people have to say, but I do a lot of do contribute, right? So listen, my son today, right? My son today passes defense for his PhD, right? My son today, right?
Congratulations on that. I heard you say that earlier.
Yeah. So son is here. So my whole point of it is I know where I stand. Right. So I'm not gonna be arguing with people. I contribute way too much to be arguing with people's opinions. And so I defend my work, right? So sometimes when Sonetta has a guest, he's a guest, so he can say whatever he want to say. Then if there's any pushback, Sonetta will call him back and says, well, the audience wants you back. That's how Sonetta does. Anyway, Saab, what's going on, man? I'm getting ready to close this show down. I'm glad you popped up. How you doing?
First thing I want to say is, Brother Reggie, great show. I watched most of it as I was handling my business. I just came in the house. King J, why you ain't come on, bro? You could have came on. Told you to come on. But,
no, you didn't call me. So
right. I was supposed to call you, but I told King J, and I put it in the chat. Reggie, you highlighted it.
Yeah, I did, but there's a lot of people on sometimes with controls.
Yeah, I spoke to King J. Me and him cool. I spoke to him.
Okay, so
hey, and I want everybody to be careful because indigenous black man is here, y'all. So y'all be very careful of what y'all say and how y'all say it. Because if y'all use any of his talking points, make sure you give him the credit. That's all I'm saying. Like it's like, you know, you scholaring up sauce, you saucing it up. Yeah, in the words of my brother, indigenous, stuff like that. For those of y'all who uses his information. Because I had him on yesterday and he went in. He went in on a lot of people using his stuff and not giving them credit. So just be careful. He's here watching, man. You know?
Yeah, but some of the stuff that he says about other people taking his information, come on, I work hard. I work way too hard to be
way too hard.
And for somebody to say I'm taking his information or I'm messing up his information, listen, let him present.
Yeah. I want to say this though, Reggie. I'm glad you're still on. And let me say this, y'all. The only one that I protect on my show are
It's Shanetta.
no, listen. The only ones that I protect on my show
Yes.
are my invited guests. Because when I bring on a guest and I'm interviewing him, I don't want people going in and going crazy, even though Sinjetti can handle his own. You know that. But I don't want people beating him up. I want them to come back. Because if y'all beat him up, like, for example, the brother that just came on the other day, what was his name, Reggie?
Self-flexion.
Yeah, self-flexion. Let him get his feet wet in the channel first before everybody starts to beat him up, because then he'd be like, I ain't going over there no more. I ain't going back over there. That's why. You see what I'm saying? So I I told everybody, yo, this is first time over here. He was already nervous. He didn't want to talk. So let the brother get it in. When he come back, y'all get familiar with him, and then I'll open it up. Let y'all go in. But I don't need to defend Sinjetti. Sinjetti been around longer than everybody that was on this channel, on the show last night. You know?
Well, Sinjetti can defend himself. I don't have a problem. He can defend himself. He knows the meta nature. He knows the meta nature now way better than me. He can defend himself. So there's a but he may have to defend himself against some of the people that hurt. But what I would say is his comments about what is childish or not, right? Well, on this platform, you do debate, right? So, and if it doesn't matter from who said it, it's open for, unless it's open for a dialogue.
Yo, right? How many,
that's what I challenged.
Reggie, hold on, Reggie. How much money you made so far on Cash App today?
Armin Ra McCarthy came through.
No, just tell me what you got.
$20.
See that, family?
And Stanford Montgomery.
Reggie been up here for 3 hours. He's been up here for 3 hours and 31 minutes. Come on, fam. Y'all could do better than that. Show our brother more support. He's up here entertaining you, giving you the information. And y'all don't, and see, it's not just the people in the chat, Reggie. We also got to look at the people that we pull up on the stage. Like Harwin. Yara always support, so I would never say Yara. Like Immortal Dragon, like Apostle, like the people you allow to come on your show. They should also support. Like my brother Apostle. He should also support. Whether it's $5, whatever you got. Show some goddamn, be quiet, Apostle. Let me finish. Show some goddamn support, man. Appreciation that my brother Reggie is up here engaging in information with y'all. He ain't got to do that. Yeah, man, I don't get y'all, bro.
Yeah,
I don't get y'all sometimes. It be days when I come up here and I don't get nothing for like a week. But I shout out the people that do support me, and I get a lot of support from my people. Ain't gonna front.
Government name is Stanford Montgomery. I supported him.
Oh yeah, that's
okay. Shout out to
my government name, man.
Yeah, you're right. You do support me too.
Thank you, Apostle.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you something, man.
And watch this.
Stop jumping on everybody, man. Apostle.
Say what?
Stop trying to think you can beat up everybody. And Sinjetti,
I just beat up them that sound a little foolish.
Sinjetti smacked you up like you was his baby.
You knew the boy. Don't you even start that. Don't you even start it. You wouldn't even let me respond to that kid. And that's what he was, a kid. And you wouldn't let me respond, man. Go ahead.
Shut you down before you even got started.
Not do nothing. Period. He ain't do jack.
Oh, wow.
He ain't do jack. He ain't said no more than what you said about the Bible. And half of what he said, he didn't even know what he talking about. So I wasn't listening talking about the Bible, just talking about him. Stay on you, nigga.
Hey, Apostle.
Yeah.
When I first came here, did Sai have to tell the people to let me get my feet wet? Or was it just open season for Harwin because he can handle it?
It was open season. It's open season for everybody.
It was open season, and I like that. And I like that energy. I'm cool.
That's
But when I was talking to Sanjetti yesterday, I didn't get disrespectful with the brother. When he was talking, I never interjected. I gave
cut
him
you
the
off, Howard?
I didn't raise. Yeah, you did a couple times, but that's cool. What ain't cool? Well, it's your show. At the end of the day, you can do what you want. But if it's the toughest environment,
there you
let
go.
it be the toughest. Let it be that, or just don't call it that. Because
you know what?
What he said, he wasn't beating me up. What he said was some condescending.
Listen, and I'm gonna put myself on the big screen. Listen up, y'all. Everybody, listen up. As of today, Friday, August the 28th, Sarnetta will not be putting nobody in the protected witness program ever again. That goes for Jabari, Sanjetti. You got to stand on your own. Now y'all hear it from me. You hear me, Reggie?
That includes tomorrow morning.
Because I'm tired of y'all saying I'm protecting people.
Does that include tomorrow morning?
That includes, I said, as of today.
So tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock, when General Yohana is on your show, you not going, you.
No, that's different. Listen, let me just, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up. Now, as far as General Yohana, I'm not allowing no disrespect to General Yohana.
That's right. That's right.
The reason is because I don't really want to open up the platform. I will open it up to certain people, like Apostle here, come on, because I know he's gonna be respectful and ask a respectful question. Like Yara, he will ask. I'm not gonna let no King J or none of them or Harwin. No, Harwin be respectful. He'll be respectful.
I'll be respectful, so I don't disrespect.
But I know who won't. Like Unc and all of them. You know? Nah, I'm not doing that because I'm not gonna mess up my relationship with my captain and my general. With my captain and my general. So we ain't doing that. We ain't gonna do that.
Hey, okay, so everybody thank Harwin because now side don't want to with nobody else in witness protection program.
Yeah, they out of it. I'm taking them all off the protection program, out of the protection program.
You see that, Apostle?
I'm tired of y'all saying that.
I heard him. I don't believe him, but I heard him.
You gonna see. But that don't mean y'all can go ape shit on the brother. That don't mean y'all go crazy.
Son, did I go ape SHIT on Sanjetti yesterday?
No, you didn't.
And I didn't either. I just wanted to know, how is he flipping Egyptology and traditional African stuff? How is he flip-flopping with that? How's that possible? That's like me saying I'm a Christian and a Muslim at the same time.
I'm thinking about getting Sanjetti to go ahead and debate Tahuti on the netters.
That'd be a good debate.
Because it looked like my champion, Floyd Mayweather, might be a little scared of that one, man.
Oh, Floyd don't duck no Floyd. Hold up. Can't nobody be Mayweather and ducking action. He done ducked me. Now he ducking Tahuti?
No, he never ducked you.
He talking about Sanjetti.
No, he never ducked you, Howard. Stop playing.
Oh, you right. You put him in witness protection program and did it for him, so you ain't have to say he.
I did that.
Okay, so now that's done, right?
Yeah, that's done now. All
right, so cool.
But Jabari, man, just want a clear title, you know. He want a clear title. That's all it is. No? So my brother Reggie.
Yes, sir.
You got the mic, brother. Do what you will. You want to close
Okay, no,
out?
I'm gonna close down the show. Hey, Sarnetta, my son passed his dissertation defense. He is now Dr. Senegal Alfred Mabry.
Woo! Beautiful.
So
that's big news, man.
So he's a
good
doctor in neuroscience. He's an expert in Parkinson's disease, and I spoke to him after the defense. I spoke to him before the defense, and he got himself ready. His mother went down there because she's a PhD. I thought that would be a better look to be in front of that group of those groups of people, but he that's what he did. So I'm just, that's why I'm not stressed right now, because I am so happy. I cried first, then I said, no, I'll do a show. I did a show because, I mean, for you to raise raising children, it can go either way, but I did my best. And how can I say, he's real hard on me on these shows for the people disrespecting me. Yeah. Because he's like, Dad, you made me, right? You helped me, you made me, and these people, you could help them, but they're in their own place, in a sunken place. He doesn't mind the arguing, but the taking sides and the things that they say about me, and he says that he can't tolerate that. And tell your son I said I'm sorry, man. You said you sorry about what? Because I know he probably talking about me taking sides. No. Tell him I apologize. No, he met you on 125th Street before. I know. Yeah, no, he's talking about the audience. He's just talking about he's not talking about you. All right. Hey, Reggie, I want to let everybody know before you close it down. Yeah. This is what we got lined up for tonight. We got this show lined up for tonight. Can't wait. I made a mistake and put an F in front of Infodigi. I mean, in front of Inky's doctor. That's an F there. I made a mistake. Supposed to be Dr. Inky. But that's what I got going on tonight at 8 o'clock. Be in the building. Y'all want to come in, have some fun. And make sure you bring some cash for the Cash App. God damn it, I need some Cash App. That's all I'm saying. Pasu, bring some Cash Apps in the building, man. They got money because they saved it on this 3-hour show. Yeah. It's a motherfucker. Two Israelites, right? Christians. Because you already know I could have easily made this a paid debate. I could have said, nah, let's do this, and let's do this in 2 weeks. Let's promote it. But I said, no, let's give it to the people. Let's give them something. So y'all got to show some love and give me something tonight. Peace and blessings. I'm out of here. Hey, peace. Shout out to Sister Nicole. Of course, Nicole is in the building. Shout out to Nicole, saying congratulations to your son, Brother Reggie. Oh man, thank you so much, Sister Nicole, and tell Brother La peace. Yeah. Thank you so much. So I'm gonna end the show, put on some music, and that's it. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna do Chapter Religion if I can find it, and we are out of here. Peace, Reggie. Oh, Immortal Dragon, man. It's right at the top. Right at the Yeah, but it's it's House of Consciousness, toughest environment. So I think that's where it is, because I get lost sometimes. So give me a second. This is for my brothers. That's the name of it, right at the top. I know it. It's just that I got to switch to House of Consciousness. I think that's where toughest environment is right there. Yeah, toughest. Oh, you see it? Yeah, all the way at the top. That's what I said. Okay. No. Okay. Toughest environment. I got that. So now I'm looking for the music. Down here. This is for my brothers. I can play it if you want me to, but I gotta do my job. So yeah, I want you to see it. Here we go. I got it.
Leave the House of Consciousness, start looking within. No. That's where the real is.
What's wrong? You started from the middle. There you go.
Where you at?
Where my people at?
I'm at where you at? Where my people at? I need you to help me on this mission. Yeah. This is for my brothers trapped in religion. Open up your eyes, break out of the prison. This is for my brothers trapped in religion. Sign at the beat of truth. You know he's on a mission. It's sad to see my brothers also lost. It's sad to see you believe in things that's false. It's sad to see you believe in Jesus, but your logic breaks apart in 1,000 pieces. Oh, God killer, not gonna let that slide. You drowning in a myth, you had nowhere to hide. The HOK is the toughest environment. While we trade blind faith for mental empowerment. I believe in scriptures for your mind, just the key. It's time to unlearn everything you believe. The house of consciousness, start looking within. That's where the real liberation begins. Oh, this is for my brothers trapped in religion. Open up your eyes, break out of that prison. This is for my brother trapped in religion. Some had to be the truth, you know he's on a mission. The HOK is more than just a place. It's a tough environment where you check your faith. Bomb squad and pseudo killers who check your sources. Don't come in front cause you will live for losses. The Bible written to break your spirit, built to keep you low, feeding you metaphors, stopping your growth. These is for my brothers trapped in religion. Sign had to be the truth, you know he's on a mission. It's sad to see my brothers all so lost. It's sad to see you believe in things that's false. It's sad to see you believe in Jesus, while your logic breaks apart in 1,000 pieces. Don't stop, don't give up on us. He's on it, son it, son it, son it. Don't stop, don't give up on us. Don't stop. Son it, son it, son it, son it. Don't stop, don't give up on us. Don't stop. He's on it.
Okay, we out.
He's on it.
We out. Peace.